Hey, good morning to you. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. A few minutes after 5 on your Tuesday morning, and happy you're here with us. If you're joining us, I think we are live this morning on all of the socials now, YouTube, X, Facebook. We got you covered. You get on there, and we will carry the show live each morning. So we're happy that you're here with us, and we can get to the news of the day, which, you know, for all intents and purposes, may be World War III. I hate to drop that on you at this hour, but the possibility exists that the man the Democrats decided was incapable of running for president again because he's lost his noodles, his marbles, is now getting us on the brink of a nuclear war with Russia, just as he's about to leave office. I mean, would they really do that to try? Is that intentional to try to screw up the Trump administration before it can even get started? I don't know. All I can tell you is overnight, Russia announced it's changed the rules on when it might use nuclear weapons. Mm-hmm. It has relaxed the standard.
Well, allowing Ukraine to use U.S. weaponry, that's really scary, too, because I think that's escalating things. And I know that they're saying, well, that's because North Korea has put thousands of troops in Russia. But I think that just inches us that much closer to potentially World War III. And yes, ultimately with Joe Biden being the president, he would have to authorize it. But let's be real. There's no way that Joe Biden is with it enough where he was able to make that. I don't think he was the driving force behind that decision. I don't know who was. I think it was somebody else who really wanted to do it. And Biden basically having, 2 months left before he's out of there was kind of like, and half alert at this point was kind of like, yeah, let's go. Well, sure.
The scary part of that is that, there are people who just like in 2016, are willing to do anything to try to undermine or block Donald Trump from getting things done domestically. And one way to do that would be to distract the world by tying us up in a war internationally. And Trump's been the one fighting against that, despite the claims during the election that he would get us into a war in 2016. Remember that? He'll get us into a war, and it's just it's laughable and scary, to be honest, what's going on this morning. And as a result of that, we've reached out to Jonathan Savage, who is reporting from Europe for Fox News. He's been covering the Ukraine. Trey Yingst, I believe, sat down with Vladimir Zelensky yesterday, and the reaction now is, yes, Zelensky's been begging to fire missiles further into Russia. They're U.S. missiles, and now Russia's reacting to that. So in the background of all of this, Donald Trump can't do anything because he's not president yet. So I don't know what happens next. We will check in with Jonathan Savage here at the bottom of the hour at about 6:35. So be sure and stay tuned for that. We're going to give away some Guns N' Hoses tickets today. Remember when parts of Idaho tried to secede from the state? Was it Idaho or was it Oregon? I'm trying to remember.
It's Oregon into Idaho.
One of the western states, a couple of the counties decided that they didn't like the liberal bent the state's politics were taking. So a few years ago, they voted to try to secede and move their counties into the neighboring state. You may not be aware of this, but there are a couple of counties in Illinois that feel the same way.
I was going to say, I know that a lot of people want Chicago to be its own thing because really, if you look at Illinois, it's red, and then just like deep blue Chicago.
Big splotches of blue, like a mistake on a portrait or something. But regardless, we're going to talk to David Stokes about that a little later. I got to see Dave recently at the Show Me Institute's 20th anniversary celebration. He was telling me about this story, so I'm glad we're getting him on this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. Carl, first let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Short List.
You've even got Morning Joe and Mika making the humiliating parade down to Mar-a-Lago to try and, change sides.
Miranda Devine, they were kind of making fun of Mika and Joe. That's not the worst of it. You should hear what Megyn Kelly said about him. We're gonna get to that bite as soon as I can get it cleaned up.
Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities.
Interesting. That's Katie Hobbs, the one that supposedly won the governorship in Arizona a couple years ago. She claims she will not participate. I don't think Trump needs her, but it's interesting the tact some of these Democrat governors are taking to try to protect criminal aliens who are murdering their own citizens.
So she helps us, she gets the hell out of the way, because they're going to do it. And look, there's a clear line here, and they can't cross a clear line. I would suggest she read Title 8, United States Code 1324 III.
Yeah, that's Tom Homan. That's the guy that's going to be handling all these border problems soon. And I would suggest Katie Hobbs and the mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu, who also made similar claims, might want to get out of his way.
We don't have to always focus on, the 20% of things that we just can't seem to find a path. Let's look at the other 80.
I know most of you won't recognize that voice, although I have had her on my show before in the past, once. I don't know if she'll ever come on again. That's the incoming Senate Majority Leader, Cindy O'Loughlin. Channel 2 went down and did a big glowing report on her yesterday as the first woman leader of the Missouri Senate. What I didn't hear in that report, and maybe I can get the reporter on the Fox 2 Capitol reporter on to ask her this. Or maybe we invite Cindy O'Loughlin on if she's willing to come on here. But in asking her this, I want you to hear what she says in this report. I'm going to play it for you. She takes a jab, number one, at Senate conservatives last year who clearly pushed for initiative petition reform that would have prevented the abortion that happened on the ballot in November. Would have prevented that. We would be dealing with that right now. She was one of two people that blocked that from happening. But now all she wants to do is get along. Play it, Carl, please.
We've all committed to, we're starting over. I'm willing to do that as long as it truly means starting over.
As leader of the Senate, Cindy O'Loughlin is tasked with assigning bills to committees and keeping decorum.
We don't have to always focus on, the 20% of things that we just can't seem to find a path. Let's look at the other 80.
Yeah, you know what the 20% was? Initiative petition reform. That's what the 20% was. She absolutely, and along with Caleb Rowden, then Senate Majority Leader, she was the whip last year, or the Assistant Majority Leader, refused to do anything to stop that. Refused, despite all of the attempts by the conservatives in the Senate, the true conservatives. She blocked it, in my opinion. And that's not just my opinion. That's the opinion of a lot of people that were in the Senate. It could have gone forward. The House was ready to deal with it. And they just dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's mind-boggling.
I think that's definitely the biggest failure of the state legislature last year. And I think a lot of people, it sounds like Cindy O'Loughlin, want lawmakers to stand in a circle like they do in The Grinch and sing, Kumbaya or like la dee da. It's like, yes, there are going to be arguments, but some things like IP reform in this case are worth fighting for, because it's that important. So yes, let's focus on the things that they agree on, but that doesn't mean that you discount and just cast aside some of the things that are so incredibly important in our state here because, you're disagreeing and it's getting tough.
My guess is the other 80% of things she wants to get done are supported by the lobbyists who've given her money. That's what I would say. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes this year. I hope we have a few senators down there willing, with the intestinal fortitude, to stand up and scream about this on the Senate floor.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that Bill Eigel won't be in the Senate this year.
I just wanted you to hear from your illustrious leader. This is what we have in the state of Missouri with a super majority of so-called Republicans in charge down there. They could override a gubernatorial veto if they needed to, but they just don't have the intestinal fortitude to make hard decisions. They just won't do it. And the only option there, the only explanation is whose back pocket are they in? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you won't do the things that your constituents demand, explain yourself. So, Channel 2 can be happy that she's making history as a woman. I don't care what the person's gender is. Get the job done, because last year you failed miserably, spectacularly. You failed. All right, quick break here. Carl, who's bringing us today's national anthem?
So, Mark, I got 2 emails yesterday, and I'm going to take care of one today and one tomorrow.
All right, hit it.
Jeremy Boyer is playing our anthem.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We just had an accident reported westbound 70 before 170. And MoDOT saying that is in the right lane. So I'm taking a look here on the Cordell & Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. Can't see it yet. Sometimes the cameras are turned in the wrong direction. But it is westbound, so it's going against rush hour anyway, and there really aren't any visible delays at this hour. Things look great through North County. Eastbound 70 looks fine from Wentzville into downtown. 6440 is in good shape. 44 looks good. So we are off to a good start. So if something comes up, I will let you know. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning from the Window World Traffic Center. I'm Sue Thomas. It is 5:19 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Right now, the Fix-It-Right guys at Jerry Kelly will come tune up and inspect your furnace for just $98. It's normally $143, and that's very little money for a whole lot of peace of mind. Check it out now at
JerryKelly.com.
Hanson's Tree Service getting ready to start their 10% winter discount for tree care scheduled between January and March of 2025. So you call right now, you get your estimate, and then you secure your spot for the winter discount list. They do winter health care for your plants. I think that's important. If you haven't done it before, if you've not thought about it, let their arborists tell you the best way to get your trees ready to get through winter and ready for spring. Part of that is feeding them. They need that deep root fertilization way down on the ground for the overall root health. It promotes a healthy spring bloom, and then they can do things like make sure pests aren't overwintering. Like I saw a mosquito this week. I didn't expect that, but it got warm enough that they came back out from wherever they were hiding. Don't let that happen in your trees with the kind of pests that will want to overwinter in there. Hanson's can take care of that. They also provide landscape mulch. In many cases, they can deliver it right to you, so be sure and ask about that when you get a hold of them. 636-379-1830, online at hansonstree.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The president did ask me if I would be the Treasury Secretary of the United States. And I said, well, Mr. President, I don't think I can do that because I do the Annie Fry Show. And I'm not willing to give that up. So just so you know.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet. And you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes, and no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
The 37th Budweiser Guns N' Roses presented by Stiefel is Wednesday, the night before Thanksgiving at Enterprise Center. Enter the Odyssey raffle for one-of-a-kind Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson artwork. See it now at stlgunsandhoses.com.
Scott, I have a new word, floornancing.
What are you saying, flooring or financing?
Actually, both, because at Best Buy Flooring, we have the largest selection of carpet, carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, ceramic tile, laminate, and hardwood.
Yes, and free financing for qualified buyers.
3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week, including at South County. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Working hard to pay for everyone else's entitlements. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
For the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has just ruled that you cannot count undated or misdated ballots. It's a little involved, but the end result could potentially keep things as they are. Alexis.
Yeah, Fox yesterday with the breaking news out of Pennsylvania. Didn't we just talk about that yesterday morning, of course, with Hans von Spakovsky about 24 hours ago? About how there's no way that was going to stand. The Bucks County Commission couldn't just decide they were going to count ballots, get this, that had no signatures or were improperly filled out, but they were going to count them anyway in an effort to harvest votes to change the outcome of that election. And they were bold about it. Even Alexis McAdams was kind of shocked as she was reporting on it for Fox.
So this is the second time, the Supreme Court there in Pennsylvania made this decision, but the recount does continue as the Supreme Court ruled again they cannot count these ballots right now that are illegal. So I don't know why they were trying to count them anyway. They didn't have the dates, they didn't have the signatures, so the whole thing was going a little bit wrong there. As Democrats, though, on some election boards said they were openly breaking the law because they said the law has been broken in the past with other things. So they were counting ballots that were missing signatures and dates to try and put a spotlight on this, they said, to overturn the election result.
They admitted what they were trying to do. They were going to count them anyway. It didn't matter. It was like the year 2000 all over again, right?
We call that desperation.
Wow.
What was the state? I know this is very different, but what was the state that said we don't even care if it's postmark? We're gonna count it anyway, even if it comes in days after the election is over. Who cares if it has a date?
Yeah, I read that
like it was
story.
a state out west.
Yeah, it might have been. But they've changed the rules to include that. At least in Pennsylvania, there's a little bit of common sense in the Supreme Court, and they've got a majority of Democrats on that Supreme Court. So that was just more shocking news about people trying to change. That's how important the balance of power is in the Senate. This morning on the Gordon Deal Show, Kim and I were driving in. I'm sure you listened to the reporter talking about the lily-livered, spineless Republicans that they know of already in the Senate, at least 3 of them. So they have a 53-vote majority right now. So they went out and they found at least 3 of them who hate Donald Trump. Mitt Romney-like Republicans is how they described one of them, who voted to censure Trump. One of them voted to impeach Trump in the last round. They went and they talked to Joni Ernst from Iowa, who's got questions about, Gabby.
Tulsi Gabbard is who
Gabbard.
she was concerned about, yeah.
Yeah. So they're already looking for ways that they can whip up opposition. I've got a little message for those people, and they don't care what I think, but They need to get on board. The American people have spoken. This is not about their little district at home one of these days, and one of them is up for election in 2 years. If he fights Trump on this, he will not be in the Senate in 2 years. He will get voted out. But they need to pay attention to what happened on November 5th. It was a tidal wave of support for Donald Trump. It was a tidal wave in places no one expected at all, including places like the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago, where Donald Trump got a tremendously higher number of votes than most Republicans ever get.
And Miami-Dade County, that was also huge.
All of these.
Yep.
So there was a groundswell of support for what Trump is trying to do. If one of these lily-livered rhinos stands up and tries to block this, there are going to be some serious repercussions in the long run. They need. I really hope John Thune is more of a man than I thought, because I didn't support him for that Senate leadership position. I think he's sort of been under McConnell for so long, he'll act a lot like him. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope he stands up to these people and says, you will get in line, and you're going to vote, and we're going to finally take advantage of power. The Democrats do it. Why don't we do it? That's the question. We're going to get to Kim on a Whim in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Catch anything you missed today by getting the show podcast at 971talk.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res. And if you need the carpets cleaned leading up to the holidays, if your home is not ready for the holidays, I have a great offer for the month of November. You know, some people hire a deal of the day carpet cleaner, maybe save a little money. It doesn't usually go that way because trust should not come that easy. I've made mistakes before. Don't DIY it. I've rented those machines at the big box store. Then I've still had to call Zero Res. They come over and then they kind of scold me for making more of a mess. Don't make that mistake. They have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,800 reviews and the legendary Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee. Here's the offer for November. You got to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. Don't miss this deal. Get back to clean. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call Zero Res right now and book 314-474-2020 or online at ZeroResSTL.com. Mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. Zero Res. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest, 42. Then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures, only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Walmart reports earnings today. So does home improvement company Lowe's. Wall Street analysts believe business is strong at Walmart, with its low prices for everyday essentials giving it an edge over competitions looking for bargains. James Iorio, director of TJM Institutional Services, says the post-election rally reflects Wall Street's optimism about changes planned by the new administration, though now investors are looking to see how everything plays out.
His solutions about cutting corporate tax rates, cutting capital gains tax, those boost demand in the short term, but the inflationary aspect of it could be there, and the supply side policies that they're implementing could take care of the inflation thing, but that takes more time.
New construction numbers for October are released today. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Hey, Donald Trump Jr. here. Central banks are buying gold at record amounts, and the trend is accelerating in 2024. They see the writing on the wall. The dollar is failing. Is gold the answer for you too? To find out, get a free info kit from Birch Gold Group by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust, right now.
Message and data rates may apply.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. You know what? We look pretty good on the roads right now. If you are traveling through North County, things look great on westbound 270. Really no delays there. And eastbound 70 looks good from out west into downtown. So does 64. It's not raining. 44 is in good shape. 55 looks good. So we are off to a good start this morning. Looks like 61 is, well, this, of course, is Lee May Ferry Road. A little bit slow at Tenbrook this morning and Starling Airport Road. But then things open up and look good. And if you are headed in from Illinois, now is the time. We look fine on the bridges downtown. Looking good on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm cameras. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 532 at 97.1 FM Talk.
You don't have to go very far. In fact, just to your keyboard or to your cell phone and type in grillmastertony.com. And when you do that, you're going to come up with my friend Tony Stone's website. What a great guy. Just a fantastic human being who every month this year has delivered food to local first responders. Can I just tell you that? Every month. And in the month of November, he's doing it 4 times, donating the food on his dime to honor our police and firefighters, and I love him for that. He's a great guy. So if you were thinking of having somebody cater your Thanksgiving meal this year, let Tony do it. I mean, honestly, give him support for what he's given back in this community. He thinks you're going to love brisket maybe more than you love turkey. So he's got a great Thanksgiving deal going right now where you get the sliced brisket, about a half pound a person. You get all the sides, the green beans, the potatoes, the baked beans, the French bread, all that stuff. And he'll deliver to your house, and you don't have to worry about fretting over that turkey this year in the oven and when to put it in. You can leave the cooking to Grill Master Tony. By the way, if you're catering an event for your family or for your workplace between now and the holidays, let Tony do it. He can deliver box lunches. He can do buffets, whatever you want. If it's a group of at least 10, Grillmaster Tony can do it. And you can order all online at grillmastertony.com.
All this week, 97.1 wants to send you to Guns N' Hoses. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show, the Annie Fry Show, and the Mark Reardon Show for chances to win every day. All this week on 97.1. Keep it here.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. Find the best deals on the Hardee's app. Items available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-481-4455. 800-481-4455. That's 800-481-4455.
Your voice can be key to changing lives. That's why the American Cancer Society is calling on Black women from all walks of life to join Voices of Black Women, a groundbreaking research study led by the American Cancer Society and backed by more than 70 years of trusted cancer research studies and breakthroughs. The Voices of Black Women study is designed to better understand why and how cancer and other conditions impact Black women. It's a commitment to partnering with Black women to better understand their lived experiences. Learn more at voices.cancer.org.
Nourishment for your mind. Marc Cox. Kim on a whim.
We have to talk about this story out of Georgia where a 41-year-old mom is now facing criminal charges. She's facing reckless endangerment, a $1,000 fine, and 1 year in jail for allowing her 11-year-old son to walk less than a mile to a local store. It was less than a mile from her home. Again, this is in Georgia. And I want to play part of this report on this story.
He knows how to get home. He knows how to get there. So, again, I wasn't concerned for his safety.
But 5 hours later, Patterson was arrested on suspicion of reckless conduct, which carries up to a year in jail.
Last time I checked, it wasn't illegal for a kid to walk to the store.
It is when they're 10 years old. Her arrest warrant claiming she willingly and knowingly did endanger the bodily safety of her juvenile son.
By the way, that report says 10. A lot of the articles say 11, a year difference.
Is it a law?
Well, not that I've seen, but I guess I'm a little confused about this whole situation. So what happens is this neighbor sees this son, who's, again, 10 or 11, walking by himself a mile or so from the home and asks the boy, "Are you okay?" The boy says yes. The neighbor proceeds to call 911 anyway. So that's when the cops drove the kid home. And then you heard in the report, 5 hours later, they come and arrest this mom in front of her kids. Well, it continues. Just days after the arrest, a case manager from the Division of Family and Children's Services arrives at her home for a home visit, interviewed her oldest son at his school. And then this is where it really just gets ridiculous. The Division of Family and Children's Services presented this mom, Brittany Patterson, with a so-called safety plan that they wanted her to sign. And what it would do is it would require her to delegate a so-called safety person to be a knowing participant and guardian and watch over the children whenever she leaves home. It would also require her to download an app on her son's cell phone that would allow her to monitor his location. And the mom refused to do that. They said, "Look, ma'am, if you sign this safety plan, you have that designated safety person, you download that app to track basically his every move, we're going to drop the criminal charge against you, the reckless endangerment." And the mom, to her credit, said, "I'm not doing that." My take on this is, well, first of all, would I allow my son or daughter to do that? I think it's circumstantial. I think at some point you have to allow them to have a sense of independence. But I think it depends on the kid, right? Like, is there a level of trust there? Is the child responsible? This mom apparently lives in a smaller town in Georgia, so it's not like the kid's walking by him or herself in downtown St. Louis. So it's very different in that particular way. So I think it's dependent on many things, but I would consider doing this. I think that, 10 or 11 years old, I think I was babysitting neighbor kids. Certainly by 12, 13 years old, I was babysitting younger kids. I think there is a level of responsibility that you can start giving these kids and a sense of independence. And I think that yes, things are scary right now, but we can't just shelter our kids forever.
Here, I have two questions. Number one, is there something about this mother situation that we don't know? Has the neighbor seen other evidence of neglect, of her leaving the kids home alone while she goes to a bar and hangs out? I mean, is there any of that we don't know? Did the story mention that at all?
It did not mention it. Now,
so,
could that be the case? Absolutely.
I mean, I just wondered what their suspicion was, that these kids were somehow in danger.
I believe that this mom has several kids, and I think she homeschools them.
Okay. All right.
I have my take would be that's probably not what is happening here, but it could be.
So my take, if that's not the case, is that every parent in the 1960s would have been put in jail if this was the standard. I mean, honestly, at 6 or 7 years old, I mean, I know I wasn't that old. We were riding bikes around our neighborhood, far out of sight of our parents. I don't know if it was a full mile. and we'd be gone for hours. They had no idea where we were.
You come back when the streetlights go on,
Well,
right?
I mean, I don't know at age 7 if I was out that late, but I was certainly out of my parents' field of vision at that point. I know it was a different time, but I just don't know why you when did we decide as a society that we can completely dictate every move somebody makes as a parent? We clearly don't. There's no discipline anymore. If you want to enforce rules against parents, start forcing them to have some discipline on their children when they do something wrong. And that might have a bigger impact on society than putting this woman in jail because she let her kid walk to a grocery store.
Well, now there's a GoFundMe page that's been set up because obviously there's been a big outpouring of support for the mom, and that has already raised about $54,000. And an attorney has agreed to work for her pro bono, so she won't be having to pay legal fees. I support
unless there's
this
more
mom.
to the story, I just don't know. I just can't imagine what that would be.
I'm looking up more about laws specifically in Georgia where this happened, and one of them says, assuming that this is accurate, it says children 13 years and older who are an adequate level of maturity may be left alone and may perform the role of babysitter.
Yeah, but what if your kid's out with 10 other kids age 10 or 11 riding their bikes and they happen to be a half mile from home? I mean, the cops round them all up, arrest all their parents, and fine them?
Well, that's the thing. First of all, it sounds like when this happened, maybe the kid was 10 because it happened late October, and maybe he's since then turned 11. Where do you draw the line?
It seems like government overreach.
Well, it absolutely does.
Where is this in Georgia? Do you know the town?
Let me look up the specific town.
I just wonder. I mean, if it's a very rural area, again, I have a hard time believing you would have local elected officials who would act like that in some of these more rural areas. They
Mineral Bluff, Mineral Bluff, a town of just 370 people. Okay, guys, this is like the Hallmark movies. I'm sorry. Again, there's so many things that you have to consider, I think, when you're determining what your stance is on this case. This is not downtown St. Louis. This is not Detroit. This is not. I don't know. I could think of a million other places where this would be ridiculous. But a town like Mineral Bluff, Georgia, of just 370 people, this is the kind of town where I'm assuming everybody knows everybody's business. You know the local grocer, you know the butcher, you know all the people in town.
Mineral Bluff is on the map, baby. Wow, this is
Fannin County, if I'm saying that correctly, Fannin.
Yeah, it's in the looks like it's in the upstate of Georgia.
They forced her to
Chattahoochee, Oconee National Forest. I used to cover stories up there all the time. That's wild that's where that is.
I'm just surprised that they were trying to force her to sign this safety plan and track him. That just seems that is really what seems ridiculous. I really support this mom. This is exactly what I would do if this happened to me. I would be like, absolutely not. You're not telling me, you're not forcing me to try to sign some safety plan and track my son. I'll raise my children the way that I think that they should be raised. Thank you very much. You're not going to tell me what to do in this way. But the fact that they're trying to say neglect, reckless endangerment, is this the next step where parents are all going to have to GPS monitor their kids? Are all the kids going to have to wear ankle bracelets as they head out to play with their kids?
Yeah, that's I think it's over the line. And for a small town like that, for all we know, the police chief is somebody she used to date, and he's trying to get even with her. I mean, who knows?
Or maybe the neighbor. What does the neighbor think about all this? Now this has become a national
Gladys Kravitz is
story.
trying to get her neighbor in trouble over all this, right?
Gladys.
What a topical reference, Marc Cox.
Who is that?
That's the neighbor from Bewitched.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she used to always peek out the curtains and see what was going on with the neighbors across the street who she suspected were up to no good.
The 60-plus crowd loved that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't fit into that crowd.
Yeah, but I thought the Gladys Kravitz
Bewitched.
reference, most people would probably get that. Not people Kim's age, maybe.
The 60-plus crowd.
Yeah, I was
loved
about
that.
half that age. Just over half.
All right, coming up, I'll get to more on this Megyn Kelly reaction to Mika and Joe going on bended knee to Mar-a-Lago to try to, engender some friendliness or new relationship with Donald Trump after referring to him as Hitler for the past 7 years. It's pretty funny when you hear what Megyn Kelly said about it. We'll be back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We had a car versus deer accident reported this morning. Highway 79 at Old 79, and just be careful through there. But for the most part, we look good at this hour, especially on the interstates. No delays on northbound 55 through multiple construction zones. Eastbound 44, eastbound 64, eastbound 70 all look good from out west into downtown. Things are fine through North County, and we look good if you are, headed in from Illinois. We look fine on the bridges downtown. We really are off to a good start. This report is brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers a state-of-the-art AI detection system, modern apartments, and delicious meals. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 547 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, I have to tell you, I went out to Macadoodles yesterday and got to see for myself what everybody's been talking about. I was there before the store opened, but wow, what a gorgeous store right there in Darden Prairie. If you know where Bryan Road is, this is right where Bryan and Fidesy meet out there. Lots of construction going on in that area right now. They're building up. It's just explosive growth out there, and Macadoodles is right in the middle of it. If you love fine wines, they have over 2,500 wines. They had multiple bottles of them open in the tasting area yesterday where you can go in and find wines that are not readily available a lot in that area, right? You have to drive a while to find a wine selection like that. The liquor selection, the bourbon, the vodka, all of that stuff, the tequila. Mike McKenna has put together a fantastic store here. They had a great turnout on their opening day last Friday, but they're open for business. Here's what Mike likes to do. He likes to take those allocated bottles and just randomly put them on a shelf. Like you never know what you're going to find when you walk in there. You're going to love it. Be sure and check them out again. Bryan and Fidesy Road. It's the brand new Macadoodles. Happy to have them on board here. Check them out online at macadoodles.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show wants to hear from you, and telling us what you think is easier than ever. Open the Odyssey app to 97.1 FM Talk. Click on the microphone and leave Mark and Kim a message. It's that easy to share your take.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Want immediate cash for your home or see what your home is really worth in today's market? Find out for free from the local experts. My friends Marc and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. 314-336-1991. Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
In the know. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
As for us, we also let him know that we will continue to speak truth to power and push back hard when called for.
Oh, please.
As we have with all presidents.
Don't be mistaken. We're not here to defend or normalize Donald Trump. We're here to report on him.
Yeah, just a couple of regular old journalists doing our job. Meek and Joe. Haven't done anything the past 7 years. Fox ran a clip yesterday during the Bret Baier show with a montage. I should probably try to go back and find it of some of the outrageous things they've said about Donald Trump since 2016. I mean, Hitler, threat to America, insurrectionist, violent capital overthrow, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on and on and on. And these two suck-ups decided that they were going to go meet with Hitler, which is really, honestly, the only other way to describe it, right? They have no... They could stay on the air for the next 4 years and do what they've been doing against Trump, but they like the celebrity aspect of getting to go on and say, we went down there and we faced him. They didn't face him. They went down there and they kissed his ring. They did. They want to curry favor with Hitler. And Megyn Kelly, who, I've disagreed with her a bit on things in the past, but I really am starting to like her again. Had this to say, and we had to clean it up first. Ethan was in there working on it a minute ago, but this was her reaction coming out of that clip on her show yesterday.
I searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase, go yourselves. Go yourselves, you dishonest jokes of faux journalists. What an absurd farce that was, Glenn. Which one was insincere? He's Hitler? Or now we're going to speak truth to power and find a way of speaking to and working with Donald Trump? Which one was a lie?
It's true.
Wow.
It's true. I mean, I said it yesterday when we first found out about it. I ran you that bite yesterday morning when they admitted that they'd gone to Mar-a-Lago. We requested it. We asked for it on Thursday, and the invitation came in, and we hopped on a jet and flew to Mar-a-Lago.
Do you think they wanted to do it, or do you think it was someone behind the scenes who was really pushing and they reluctantly agreed?
No, I think I don't know the answer to that. These are two of the most disingenuous individuals I've ever met. And Mika Brzezinski's defense yesterday was, her dad was Zbigniew Brzezinski. He was Jimmy Carter's national security advisor, I think was his title under Carter. And my father met with a lot of, dangerous people around the world, and he believed in, giving everybody a chance, and that's why we felt we should go meet with Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump now holds the reins of power in the country, and you suddenly decided you needed to go kiss his rear end because you want that celebrity. You want to be in the presence of him, the man you referred to as Hitler. Listen to Scott Jennings yesterday. I thought he had some pointy-headed professor that he was arguing with on CNN about this whole thing, and he's like, listen, I see what's going on here. Listen.
I did not expect Hitler to get so many meeting requests, first from Joe Biden, now from Mika and Joe. It's amazing that literal Hitler is getting all these meeting requests, and what it tells me, Professor, is that all the rhetoric that came from the left, from the Democrats, from the White House, from Kamala Harris and everyone else before the election, all of the rhetoric, the fascism, the Hitler, the Nazi rally at him, it was all a bunch of BS. They didn't mean any of it. And if I were in the Democrat sort of rabble's shoes, I would be looking at all my leaders and going, did you just BS me for an entire 6 weeks before the election?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, I wonder if they now think, if Mika and Joe think that this is going to in some way make it where Trump agrees to go on their show or whatever the case may be. And he might, but this doesn't really mean much. It just means that they met. For all we know, Trump could basically be saying, yeah, I met with you, forget you. You guys, Trump is all about loyalty. We know that people like Joe and Mika and all the lefties on mainstream media, leading up to the election, they were essentially throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. They were trying to see what was going to resonate with enough people to get them, to convince them to vote against Donald Trump. I don't even know if they cared that it was for Kamala Harris. They just did not want Donald Trump in office.
Well, that's obvious from all of the crap they tried, as you mentioned, to it threw against the wall, the lawsuits, the impeachments, the criminal charges, anything they could try to do to hurt him. But the loyalty thing, you're right. He's shunned Nikki Haley. He's shunned Mike Pompeo now. I can't imagine him warming up to Mika and Joe. But I will say, unlike Kamala Harris, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have been willing to take on contentious interviews, and Donald Trump may see a time coming when he needs to go on MSNBC and tell people what he's doing. Like today, they're claiming it's fascist. He's going to use the U.S. military to round people up in detention camps. He might get a U.S. citizen by mistake. There are like 2 million people in the United States that already have detention orders that have been ordered by a judge that the Biden administration has just ignored. Those are the first 2 million people he's going to round up, just so you know. These are not American citizens. We'll be back in just a minute.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Skip the Black Friday madness this year with Diamonds Direct. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated. Member SIPC and NYSE.
Yo, 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 Dad is in the house. What do you call the NordVPN Black Friday deal, huh? The Block Friday deal. Because you block online threats. Black Friday, Block Friday. Get it? It's hilarious. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal and block online threats now. NordVPN is rated as outstanding on PC Mag. Just visit nordvpn.com and discover the benefits of this all-around cybersecurity tool. It will encrypt your online traffic. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool will defend you against web trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. So improve your digital privacy and protection with one simple click. Get the special Black Friday deal at nordvpn.com and enjoy safer internet daily. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
1,000 days. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's how long Russia's war in Ukraine has lasted. And another bombing's left 12 Ukrainians dead as Russia's leader also signs a new nuclear doctrine today, allowing Vladimir Putin to consider using nuclear weapons if a nuclear power, like the U.S. or some of our NATO allies, are involved in an attack using conventional weapons. This 2 days after President Biden authorized Ukraine's use of long-range American missiles to fire deeper into Russia. And Ukraine's leader is asking Europe for more help.
President Volodymyr Zelensky is calling for unity to help his forces defeat those of Russia's Vladimir Putin. Speaking remotely to the European Parliament, President Zelensky praised his partners in the West for their support.
Together we have accomplished much, but we must not fear doing even more
He warned the current contingent of 10,000 North Korean soldiers helping Moscow could grow to 100,000.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. That war's been a topic at the summit of G20 countries in Brazil, where President Biden will soon discuss sustainable development and energy, while President-elect Trump has a new cabinet pick nominating another Fox host, former Congressman Sean Duffy, to be transportation secretary, as the president-elect gets pushback from Democrats on a plan to declare a national emergency before a mass deportation of immigrants here illegally using military assets. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says
the idea of calling out, the Army into the domestic confines of the United States seems uncalled for.
We expect a court filing today in a Trump legal case in New York City.
Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg's office is expected to tell Judge Juan Merchan how it wishes to proceed. Former and now President-elect Trump was found guilty earlier this year of falsifying business records to cover a payment to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. The defense continues to say the case is politically motivated.
That's Colonel Scott. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great morning. It's 61 degrees now at 6:03. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk. More cases of E. coli have been linked to the Rockwood School District. Health officials say there's now at least 94 cases. That's up from 69. The St. Louis County Health Department believes a salad may have caused the outbreak that had been served at 4 separate school-related events. Changes are coming to the way St. Peter's residents recycle. Next month, the city will be delivering 96-gallon recycling bins, and for the past 25 years, St. Peter's has been using blue plastic bags. A $320,000 grant is helping pay for the bins. The city says this new way of recycling will save hundreds of thousands of dollars and cut down on landfill waste. The St. Louis Zoo has euthanized a 17-year-old African lion. The zoo says Ngozi was put down because he had advanced liver and spinal disease. He was born at the San Diego Zoo in 2007 and then came to St. Louis just before his first birthday. Last week, you might remember the zoo euthanized one of its chimps because of arthritis and other health issues. Time right now, 6:04, 61 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, Blues are at home taking on the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. Last night for Monday Night Football, the Texans gave the Cowboys their 5th consecutive loss. The final score of that game was 34-10. And for any basketball fans, the Illinois men take on Alabama tomorrow. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. 61 degrees now. We're coming up on 6:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. We look pretty good on the roads at this hour. There was an accident westbound 70, really near 170 in the right lane, but it's going against rush hour and it's really early, so it's not causing any kind of huge delay. If you are eastbound on 70, it looks good from out west into downtown. 64, 40 is in good shape. 44 looks good. If you are headed in from Illinois, now is the time. We look good on the bridges downtown. This report brought to you by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 6:05 at 97.1 FM Talk.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest. 42, then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
606 and 61 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides.
The bottom line is, I respect that we don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
All right, good morning to you. Glad you are with us here. It is a Tuesday morning. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. It is are we up to the 19th day of November, and it's going to be in the 60s today and sunny. So go see Dr. Green. That's what I prescribe for you this morning if you get an opportunity. I'm not going to get to do that today, but I mean everyone else should. If you're out and about, take a lunch, enjoy it while it lasts. Changes are a-coming. Sometime on Wednesday into Wednesday night, I think, and then we'll start dipping down a bit into the weekend.
30s are coming.
Wow. Yeah. So some people might be ready for it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to do the switch over of your wardrobe right now because it's going to be in the 60s today. You can't wear a sweater to work. It'll be too hot.
Not if you work in this studio.
Well, there are exceptions to that rule for sure. If you're in the radio business, coming up, we're going to talk to the man, Will Scharf. He just got done running for Attorney General in the primary in Missouri. He lost that race to Andrew Bailey, who just got reelected as Attorney General in the state of Missouri. But of course, he has been an attorney for President Trump, and he just got appointed as an advisor to the president, like assistant to the president in the White House. It's kind of a big deal, and we're going to get him back on the radio here coming up in about 10 minutes or so to talk more about that and what he knows about the job duties and how he hopes he's going to be able to contribute to the Trump administration. Bottom of the hour, I mentioned this last hour. If you're just waking up this morning, Vladimir Putin did something that could have an impact on all of our lives. He decided that he was, in reaction to Joe Biden allowing U.S. missiles to be fired deeper into Russia, he decided that he was going to relax his standards for using nuclear weapons. He's lowering the threshold, and it's a dangerous time right now. Why Joe Biden did that, I don't know. He's refused to do it up until now. Is he doing it somehow to try to thwart the Trump administration and force them into more support for Ukraine? I don't know the reasons, but it's a high tension-filled moment in that conflict. We're going to talk to Jonathan Savage, who's been recovering this war for a long time, and we're going to get to him here at the bottom of the hour to get you more details on that. So I promise you that. First, though, Carl, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Short List.
We don't have to always focus on, the 20% of things that we just can't seem to find a path. Let's look at the other 80.
Yeah, how about that? That is, of course, the Senate leader, Cindy O'Loughlin. She's been selected. She'll be confirmed when the new Senate is sworn in, I imagine. What does that mean? Does that mean we're going to get IP reform this year, Cindy?
I
I think that the Pentagon is legitimately scared of Pete Hegseth because of his opposition to DEI. Keep in mind, the Defense Department is spending around $86 billion right now on various DEI initiatives.
Where's the Department of Doge? That's what I want to know. $86 million. Is that what she said? 86 billion. She said billion, didn't she? Wow. That's shocking.
Border Patrol has arrested, since Joe Biden's been in the White House, they have arrested people from 181 different countries. That's almost every country in the world.
Yeah, that's Tom Homan, if you haven't recognized the voice already. And he is putting out a warning to these governors around the country that are saying they're going to not cooperate with the Trump administration's deportation plans. He's also adding in there are 46,000 Chinese nationals who have been able to break into our country.
Nearly $1 million spent studying whether or not Japanese quail, if you give them cocaine, whether or not they're more sexually promiscuous.
Apparently, Rand Paul might have been a more appropriate addition to Doge because he gives a quarterly update on government waste. He stands on the Senate floor and updates America on the kind of waste that their government, and up until now, nobody has cared. Nobody has paid a bit of attention to it. He gives the report every 3 months. Here's more examples of just complete government waste. And maybe finally, under Donald Trump, something will get done about it. Now, if it's appropriated by Congress, that's a little more difficult. If it's something that's being done through an executive action, then you can act more quickly. But that's where the HHS secretary and others come into play. They can look at the NIH and places like that and see where budget issues like that exist. I'm going to play the whole bite for you because you need to hear what Rand Paul claims is going on with some of your American tax dollars.
Gin to a sunfish versus tequila, which would make the sunfish more aggressive? Nearly $1 million spent studying whether or not Japanese quail, if you give them cocaine, whether or not they're more sexually promiscuous. Was it one small step for man, or was it one small step for a man? And in the end, $750,000 later, they couldn't decide. Was it one step for man, one step for a man? $2 million for the construction of a kelp and shellfish nursery in Maine. $1.5 million to encourage video gaming in New York. We might be better off spending $1.5 million to discourage kids from playing video games. $388,000 for Columbia University. Be giving a rich university that has $13 billion any money. $249,000 for the Baltimore Symphony. Give money to all the symphonies and we'd make them part of government.
That's insanity. We were talking last week about how, I forget how much money, but I think it was millions of dollars had been allocated to remove part of a cat's brain and see if they could still walk on a treadmill. They were testing out trans chimps, injecting female hormones into male chimps and seeing the impact it had on them. Really? That's what our tax dollars are paying for? And you have all these supposedly intelligent congressmen and women who have been elected to that position, who we think are intelligent and spending our money wisely with the bills that they support, and that's what they're in some cases authorizing?
Maybe we should be doing the testing on them.
I would support
Don't
that.
You think?
Let's see the impact cocaine has on some of these congressmen and women. I agree.
Well, you probably already see that on a daily basis, if I got to be completely honest with you.
You know that guy who had sex with that man, remember, was it one
of
the
in the Senate chamber.
Yes.
Yeah. Huh?
Well, maybe he was part of the study.
Certainly something injected there for sure. So I don't know what's going on with it, but the Department of Government Efficiency has got a lot of work to do, and it'll be interesting to see how quickly these recommendations come flowing in. I think they're working on them now. Maybe when Trump gets sworn in on January 20th, you've got, which I'm planning to attend, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. I am planning to be there for Trump's inauguration this year and covering it for this radio station. So,
and forcing us to work on a holiday.
Forcing you to what?
that's MLK Day as well.
Well, happy MLK Day. Isn't that great? What a great celebration.
Celebrating everything.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to a break because coming up next, we've got a man who's going to, at the very least, witness all of this firsthand because he's going to be in the White House with Donald Trump when all of these plans start to roll forward. His name is Will Scharf. He's just been appointed as an assistant to the president. He's going to join us after the break.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. I'll tell you what, we've got no weather issues this morning, which is a nice change. And crews have just cleared that accident, westbound 70 approaching 170. Now, we do have a stall reported, and this one is eastbound 370, just a little bit past 141, and it looks like they've moved that off to the right shoulder. It's not causing any kind of huge delay, but just bear that in mind. I mean, that's the worst of it at this hour, which means we're in pretty good shape. 55 northbound looks good from down south into downtown. Northbound 270 is still in good shape, and eastbound 70, 64, 40, and 44 all look good out west into downtown. This report brought to you by GHR Contracting. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. It is 6:16 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Not many window companies do egress windows. Those are the ones used in basements or floors with no emergency exit. GHRcontracting.com. We offer same-day install and financing 0% for 18 months, and there's no hassle with price negotiation. Get an upfront quote on the phone. GHRcontracting.com.
All right, let's talk about the November specials, which, of course, they're still honoring veterans over at the Overhead Door Company. They haven't forgotten. Veterans Day may be behind us, but they're still looking forward. If you are in need of any garage door work and you are a veteran or an active military member, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling that discount for November. They normally give you 5% off. Right now, they've doubled it to 10% all month long. Doors, openers, any service or repair they have, all the details at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Go there and check it out while you're there. Look at some of the great options. Wow. Need a new entry gate, need new garage doors. The selection is amazing. You can call them at 314-781-5200. You can also use that number to schedule your annual garage door tune-up before the really cold weather starts to get here, and they provide the same-day service. So if it ever doesn't work and you need to get it fixed in a hurry, save that number, 314-781-5200, overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose, paid for by Bayer.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, and you believed they'd be kept safe. But now you've learned the nursing home has violated that trust. You've discovered bed sores, broken bones, and infections. Your loved one did not receive the care they deserved. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect or abuse, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE. Onder Law, making a difference one case at a time.
Making radio great again. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much.
The comments from President-elect Donald Trump when he sat down with sleepy Joe Biden there in the Oval Office. What was that, last week? Boy, time flies, doesn't it? Won't be long before he's in there permanently, and when he is, our next guest will be in close proximity. That is Will Scharf. We've got him on the line this morning. Will, congratulations.
Thanks so much, and great to be with you guys this morning.
Yeah, great to have you, my friend. I was hoping we would get an announcement like this. Is this a position you sought, or did they approach you?
Yeah, actually, when the boss asked me kind of what I was looking for, what I wanted, this was my number one choice. Staff secretary is an incredible position. It's sort of the nerve center of the White House, of the West Wing. It's also a position with a storied history. Brett Kavanaugh, U.S. Supreme Court Justice, served as staff secretary under George W. Bush. It's an incredible role, and I'm just deeply honored that I'll get to do the work come January.
You'll also be an assistant to Donald Trump. So what does that specifically entail?
Assistant to the president is just a White House rank. The way commissioned officer ranks in the White House work, you have assistants to the president, deputy assistants to the president, and then special assistants to the president. So that's just that's not sort of a functional role. The key thing is staff secretary, and looking to build a great team of people who can get the job done and make sure the president's well equipped to go out and do the things he has to do in terms of information, in terms of message flow, in terms of getting the right people and the right documents in front of him at the right time.
Wow. Well, it's impressive. I'm proud to know someone who's going to be right there on the front row of history as we watch what goes on the next 4 years. Will, I'm not surprised at all, but obviously the headwinds against President Trump have started blowing already with the way they're reacting, the media, the Democrats, even some weak-kneed Republicans to some of his cabinet choices.
Yeah, look, I think just at a very basic level, except in the rarest of circumstances, a president is owed tremendous deference when it comes to the people that he chooses to lead the departments that operate under him. The Senate obviously has an advice and consent duty under the U.S. Constitution, but I think the president has a right to make his picks, and I'm hopeful that Republicans in the Senate, Republicans all over the country, understand that President Trump just won a massive electoral mandate, landslide victory in the Electoral College, majority in the popular vote. And I think that the American people clearly trust President Trump to run this country. I think the United States Senate should as well. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot in the coming weeks about a lot of these different nominees. But so far, you look at the picks President Trump's making. We had a Sean Duffy announced as the new transportation secretary last night. I think these are great picks, and I hope the U.S. Senate sees things the same way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm not surprised that he'll face some opposition. I've heard several people say that it might dwarf what they did to Brett Kavanaugh when they were trying to get him on the United States Supreme Court. That saddens me, but I truly hope. One of my biggest hope is that for the first time, Republicans who've been handed a mandate here, there's no other way to put it, can act cohesively, because when the Democrats are given a majority, they act ruthlessly. I mean, they whip every vote, and I don't often see that with the Republicans. I hope they can do that this time.
Yeah, look, we've seen time and time again the Democrats act like lemmings. They get into line and they follow the leader, even if the leader's leading them off a cliff. We saw that when Nancy Pelosi had, half of her House caucus essentially commit political suicide by voting for Obamacare in 2009, 2010. We've seen this repeatedly where the Democrats have a degree of discipline and order that the Republican Party's lacking. And in some cases, that's a good thing. The Republican Party, I think, is just more individualistic and more diverse in terms of opinion, in terms of political thought than the Democrats are. And that's a good thing. But, sometimes you do need that party discipline. President Trump's the president-elect. He has a massive electoral mandate, and I think that the Republican Party owes him a great degree of deference, especially when it comes to who he's picking to lead the departments that operate under his authority as president.
I have to ask, with you having represented Trump as one of his attorneys, what do you see happening with some of these cases? Because I think it was the sentencing was delayed with the Judge Merchan case, the so-called hush money case.
It's pretty simple. We won, they lost. That was clear to all of us after we won on the presidential immunity appeal at the Supreme Court on July 1st. The criminal cases have all essentially collapsed at this point. Yesterday, the Georgia Court of Appeals noted that it was basically staying the appeal of the disqualification of Fani Willis. I'm assuming that that's in large part due to the fact that once President Trump takes office, that entire case needs to be dismissed. It can't proceed. You can't criminally prosecute a sitting president. Same is true in New York. Obviously, the Florida documents case was dismissed because of the unconstitutional appointment of Jack Smith. And D.C. is mired in litigation as well, and that case has been essentially stayed pending January. So on the criminal side, everything's done, everything's dusted. We won, they lost. The civil side, there's going to continue to be some litigation, continue to be some action there.
Yeah.
But in the main, the Democrats' campaign of lawfare against President Trump failed, and the country's much better off for it. I've said before, I hope that this specter of lawfare, the politicization of law enforcement, of prosecution, never again darkens the door of American politics. It's a terribly sad day for America that the Democrats resorted to those kinds of tactics.
I would agree. Well, Will Scharf, congratulations. We can't wait to watch what you get accomplished, my friend. Thank you.
Great to be with you guys. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, sir. We'll talk again soon. Great to get Will on here this morning. All right, coming up, we're going to get to Jonathan Savage on what's going on in Ukraine.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest, 42. Then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
For 97.1 FM Talk, I'm Kim St. Ange. 61 degrees now coming up on 631. Well, you could soon face a fine in Missouri if you're caught holding your phone to call or text while driving. In January, the new hands-free phone law takes effect. Governor Mike Parson signed the bill last year, and up until this point, police have only been able to issue warnings. A first-time violation will cost $150, and then penalties increase up to $500 if you're caught multiple times. A St. Charles County 911 dispatcher is being recognized for helping a woman deliver her baby safely at home. Ashley Purcell was just a few weeks into her training program there as a dispatcher when she took the call in September. She walked the mom and her boyfriend through the birth, and they thankfully had a healthy baby girl. Purcell was given an award and a stork pin, which is given to dispatchers who help deliver a baby. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. Last night for Monday Night Football, Texans gave the Cowboys their 5th consecutive loss. Score was 34-10. And for basketball fans, the Illinois men take on Alabama tomorrow. Tip-off for that game is 8 o'clock. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, it looks like we've got an accident on westbound 70 approaching the Blanchette Bridge. I'm looking at the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm camera there. And it's off on the right shoulder, but if you are traveling westbound toward the bridge, you may encounter just a little bit of a brief slowdown as drivers slow for a look on the way by. And that's the worst of it right now, and they are all off on the shoulder. But there was also a car on the shoulder westbound 70 near 370. Now, other than that, we've got the usual volume, and that means if you are eastbound on 70, things look great from out west into downtown. No delays on eastbound 6440. From out west into the city, 44 is also in good shape at this hour. Now, northbound 55, we're starting to see the beginnings of some volume ramping on to northbound 270 and northbound 55 around Bayless. But if you are headed in from Illinois, now's the time. We still look good downtown on the bridges. This report brought to you by GL International Realty. Sell your home with trust, confidence, and written guarantees. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty is St. Louis's real estate expert. Visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. It is 6:33 at 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, Grasser Electric out there ready to do whatever it is that you got going on at your house and get it taken care of in short order. I do appreciate them. They've helped me many times over the years. They've helped my family members, my daughter, my son, and some of his friends as well. So when you hear the question, does anybody know a good electrician? I do. Grasser Electric. Write the number down. Maybe put it in your phone under electrician, 636-441-5200. When the emergency arises, that's the emergency number as well. But during business hours, they're going to answer that, get you set up with an appointment, get an electrician to come out and take a look at whatever you got going on. Maybe it's a ceiling fan you got to get put in, but there's not a box there that's properly mounted to support it. They can take care of all that for you to make sure it's done right. You're not risking a fire at somewhere down the road, or if you've just got a home inspection and you need some work done like my daughter did recently, they will come out and get that taken care of in a hurry. No job is too small for Grasser Electric, and they answer the phone 24/7. 636-441-5200, GrasserElectric.com.
The Trump presidency is coming into focus. Keep it here for every twist and turn, because the updates are happening fast. 97.1 FM Talk. The vision and strategy for 2025 is here.
Are you a business owner looking to grow and succeed? The St. Charles Regional Chamber is here to help. I'm Scott Tate, President and CEO. As the region's largest chamber with nearly 1,200 members, we offer networking, marketing resources, educational programs, and more to support your business. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or starting out, we have the right membership option for you. Explore our investor levels for exclusive benefits or try our free basic membership. For more information, visit stcharlesregionalchamber.com.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
He's not from the government, but he is here to help. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Well, a couple things are going on in Ukraine. First of all, I understand that Vladimir Zelensky is celebrating the fact that Joe Biden has given him permission to use some long-range U.S. missiles to fire into Russian territory. And there's been some fallout from that because now Russia has responded with lowering the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. That's how I understand it. And a lot of people are worried about what might be going on. We're fortunate enough to have Jonathan Savage with us from Fox News Radio, who's been covering this war pretty much from the beginning. Jonathan, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What is the latest situation? What exactly does this reaction from Russia mean?
Yeah. Now, Russia had warned that if the United States allowed Ukraine to use American missiles to attack Russian territory, that would be an escalation. It would increase tension, make the United States more deeply involved in the war in Ukraine, and promised there would be some sort of repercussion. Today, Vladimir Putin has formalized Russia changing its nuclear doctrine, saying it could consider using nuclear weapons if there's a conventional assault from a country that isn't just a nuclear power but is supported by a nuclear power such as the United States. This is something which had been on the cards for a couple of months, as had the U.S. decision, because Ukraine had been asking for this right for a very long time. But it being formalized today, it may seem a bit too much of a coincidence for many people. The Kremlin says that it's not directly related, but certainly the timing of this is getting people's attention.
Well, you have to wonder what Trump's going to be able to do when he comes into office in about 2 months, because certainly he would never have allowed this to happen.
Donald Trump has said that he would bring the war in Ukraine to a quick end. He's never said how he plans to bring it to a quick end, but one thing that he will have the right to do when he takes back office is cancel this approval, cancel Ukraine's right and ability to use long-range American missiles to attack Russian artillery, Russian air bases, Russian missile silos on Russian soil, if he chooses to do so. Now, Ukraine will be strongly appealing for him not to cancel that permission. In fact, Volodymyr Zelensky today, the president of Ukraine, saying to his partners in the West, together we have accomplished much, but we must not fear doing even more.
Jonathan, this war is in its 1,000th day, I understand. I believe it just marked that. it kind of give us an update on where things stand. It strikes me from the reporting I'm hearing that it's largely reached a little bit of a stalemate. Am I wrong about that?
It's not unchanging, but it has looked very similar for some time. Russia has taken control of large parts of eastern Ukraine. It's held that for many months and has been making gradual incremental steps forward over the last several months. The other major change we've seen since the summer is Ukraine taking several hundred square miles of Russian territory, an incursion into Russia, the Kursk region, trying to control part of Russia. It said possibly to act as a buffer between Ukraine and Russian forces, but also possibly to use as a negotiating tool if this war does end at the negotiating table.
Yeah, I know that North Korean troops have been involved over there, I understand. Is there any indication from the State Department why the President Biden would have made this decision on the missiles with only 2 months left in his administration? Isn't it true that Vladimir Zelensky has been asking for this for months?
He has been asking for this for months, and he, I think, has been trying to get some other allies to put pressure on President Biden and the White House to make this decision. But what we're told, what we understand, is that President Biden approved it, spurred on by Russia inviting 10,000 North Korean soldiers into that fight against Ukraine, seeing what Russia doing as an escalation that requires an escalation in response.
But what confuses me is the fact that the North Korean troops have been in Russia for weeks. I mean, I remember reporting on that for quite some time. So even after that, Biden delayed this decision. So that's especially what's odd to me about the timing of all of this.
He's coming in for a lot of criticism about the delay, but the West has been criticized many times by Ukraine and its allies for delaying decisions that it's eventually made. Ukraine asked for tanks, asked for fighter jets, and it took an awful long time for the U.S. and the West to give them those weapons and those bits of military hardware. So, this is going to be criticism which is going to come. Some say it may be too little, too late, perhaps a confused strategy, but at the same time, Ukraine is grateful and is concerned that this move could be rolled back in the new year.
Wow. Jonathan Savage, Fox News Radio, thank you for the information. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good to get a sort of on the spot view. You don't have to be a foreign policy expert to understand the danger Joe Biden has put the world in here. He resisted this call to allow these weapons to be used up until the last 60 days of his administration, which puts the problem squarely in Donald Trump's lap. And I can't help but to analyze it any other way except that he wants to commit force in a way that kind of boxes Donald Trump in, right? Now that he's given Ukraine that permission, even if Donald Trump withdraws that permission, Russia's already changed its policy. I think it's extraordinarily dangerous what Joe Biden's done here. I mean, it's almost like he's pushing this to expand this war to spite the incoming administration. I don't know why else you'd make a last-minute change with 2 months to go.
Especially if his reasoning is because North Korean troops have been there. Like I mentioned, they've been there for weeks. I think the timing of this is very concerning. I think this was just stupidity on Joe Biden's part. Whoever was the driving force behind this decision and somehow convinced Biden to say yes, it angers me, to be honest with you. And I know Trump will come in there and cancel this agreement that we have with Ukraine, but who's to say that the Ukrainian forces won't take advantage of that in these next 60 or so days, use the missiles, and then that just further escalates the situation there with Russia. And then when Trump takes office, we're entering into World War III. And maybe that's a bit dramatic, but I mean, that's where my head goes, worrying that any little incremental move forward using U.S. weapons could seriously launch us into World War III.
Well, people like Jonathan Savage, I'm sure, have a better hand on this. Jim Carafano, to a greater extent, as a foreign policy expert. I think what we've witnessed in Ukraine is evidence that the mighty Russian army can't even take over a second-rate country like Ukraine with a a fairly weak military. Now, I'm not saying they don't have an iron will, because they've stuck with it and they've resisted for a long time, but they haven't even been able to complete what they're doing in Ukraine. I don't know how big of a threat the world faces from Vladimir Putin, who understands, whether it's still policy or not, the idea of mutually assured destruction. If he unleashes nuclear weapons, he's going to get hit with nuclear weapons, and then everybody dies. I can't envision him going there, because all he wants to do is be in power, and you're not in power if you've been nuked. So I just hope that we're not on the precipice of something like that. Those are dangerous times, and Joe Biden is not helping by stirring the pot right now, for sure. All right, coming up, we got to end other news with Ethan. Next hour, Todd Piro joining us at about 7:20. We're going to give away some Guns and Hoses tickets today. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll also be joined by Ryan Wiggins of Wiggins America. We'll be back in just a minute.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning. On the roads, we've got an accident westbound 70 approaching the Blanchette Bridge, and this thing has been blocking the right shoulder. So it's going against rush hour, and it's on the shoulder. Well, it looks like they've got that cleared. So we're in pretty good shape through there. And in fact, there was another stall on the shoulder near 370, but that's not causing a delay either. Now, eastbound 70 still looks good from out west into the city. 64, though, has picked up volume. And this is in pockets, but it's Prospect to just past Winghaven. And, of course, southbound 94 jamming at Highway D at this hour. We've got traffic looking great, really, from the Boone Bridge all the way into downtown. There's a little bit of moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge for Illinois drivers at this hour. And northbound 270, we've got some slow pockets there, mainly moderate volume, but it's 55 through Manchester, and northbound 55 slowing a little bit at Bayless. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 647 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Love my friends at Victor Men's Health. I'll be heading back in there soon for my latest blood test. They like to get you in and do labs on you ever so often, so they can kind of keep an eye on where things are, because they've set up a treatment plan for you, right? As you age, guys, you give up ground. Let's put it that way, right? You may lose energy. You may not recover from injuries as well when you're in the gym. You may not see the results you want when you're in the gym. Victor Men's Health helps with that. I've been going there for over 6 years. I can tell you that. They work on hormone optimization, weight loss they can help you with. Maybe you suffer from vitamin deficiencies because we don't eat the way we should. We know that, but we still order the hamburger, right? Because it tastes good. So they can help you supplement to overcome some of those deficiencies. They also deal with sexual health issues, and they even test for cardiology. Cardiovascular disease with a cardiologist here in St. Louis. It's one of the leading killers worldwide. Let Victor Men's Health help you as they've helped me. Visit them in Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Illinois, O'Fallon, Missouri, or Town and Country. Go online today and tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's victorymenshealth.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The president did ask me if I would be the Treasury Secretary of the United States. And I said, well, Mr. President, I don't think I can do that because I do the Annie Fry Show. And I'm not willing to give that up. So just so you know.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. Open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and Ruler Foods has the savings that you need for this holiday season. Share more, spend less. A Thanksgiving meal for under $5 per person that feeds 8 people. Save on a 14-pound turkey, Kroger rolls, green beans, French fried onions, sweet potatoes, deluxe mac and cheese, stuffing, turkey gravy, Idaho potatoes, cranberry sauce, large egg noodles, chicken broth, pumpkin pie, and whipped topping. A delicious Thanksgiving meal for less. Learn more at rulerfoods.com.
When
When you're trying to find quality candidates, all the searching, screening, and interviewing can become a job itself. You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Fully awake, never woke. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
So you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Got a new job opportunity for you if you are a drummer. Primus is seeking a new drummer after Tim Herb Alexander's departure, citing a loss of passion for playing for the band. In a social media post, Primus invited skilled drummers to apply, emphasizing creativity, groove, and the ability to contribute musically over flashy techniques. Applicants are encouraged to submit resumes and performance videos on their social medias. So if you want to play for Primus, there's your chance.
I don't know who that is, but I'd love to see some of these submissions.
They do the South Park
Shocking.
fame.
Yeah.
Well, I know of the show South Park, but I don't think I've ever seen a full episode.
Wow. What?
Okay.
Guys, I grew up with 2 sisters. Let me remind you of that. It was a lot of Father of the Bride and While You Were Sleeping.
Princess Diaries.
I do like Princess Diaries.
They're making a third one.
Well,
but
those are good too. You just got to mix it up.
Thanks, Sue. The last Primus, whenever they tour, they never do their own material. Like last time they were here, they did Pink Floyd, and the time before that, they did the soundtrack to Willy Wonka.
All cover
Whoa.
stuff. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's annoying.
He's a weird guy.
He is a weird dude.
Yeah, you think?
Les Claypool is a weird guy, and he's the bass player. So
Tried out for Metallica. Didn't make it.
Didn't know that.
Little fun fact. So I told you that Beyonce is going to be playing the Houston Texans show on Christmas Day. Well, Vivid Seats reported that spiking surge in ticket demand happened. A 713% spike in traffic to the game's ticket page, and they also had a 218 percentage increase to the traffic of the Texans page. Ticket prices also jumped 40% overnight, with the average price raising from $378 to $528.
Just because she's going to be singing.
She's going to be there.
A few songs at halftime. Wow.
Can we just stop
because
this?
they don't trust to watch it on Netflix.
Well, what if she shows up and decides not to sing?
Good point.
Then we realized that they paid her how many millions of dollars? $3 million to be there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was good.
I would have no
Well,
desire
she's from
to see
Houston.
that.
Yeah.
Maybe any money she makes, she can donate to Kamala Harris
Oh,
to pay
yeah,
off the
maybe
debt
to
that
help
she
pay
owes.
off. She's out fundraising right now, I understand.
The Baseball Hall of Fame ballot for the 2025 includes 14 new first-time candidates, highlighted by legendary outfielder Ichiro Suzuki, widely expected to be a first ballot inductee.
Yeah.
Suzuki, he had a 19-year career featuring accolades such as the 2001 MVP, Rookie of the Year, 10 All-Star appearances, and 3,089 hits. Other notable newcomers include Felix Hernandez, CC Sabathia, and Dustin Pedroia.
Is Pete Rose
Maybe
anywhere
2
on the list?
No.
Yeah, Mark, he is.
He has expired. He has outlived his lifetime ban. Why is he not in the Hall of Fame?
He's never going to live down what happened. I don't agree
He's
with
dead.
that.
He can't live it
know.
down
Well,
now.
I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, but I don't think that he's ever going to be cleared of that. I think sadly people are always going to associate him with that whole
That's a shame.
scandal.
Shouldn't
if
be
you
a
want
Hall
to
of
call it
Fame
that.
if he's not in there. But
He
go
should
ahead.
be in the Hall.
Yeah.
McDonald's is investing $100 million to support franchisees impacted by last month's E. coli outbreak linked to the Quarter Pounder cheese hamburger and the onions from Taylor Farms. The outbreak affected 14 states, sickened 104 people, hospitalized 34, and caused 1 death. $65 million of the funds will specifically aid franchisees in the hardest hit states.
So they lost that much money over it, or are they getting sued over it?
They didn't say if they were getting sued. I think it's more of that they didn't have that money because they weren't selling everything.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Wow.
Is it just me, or have E. coli cases been rampant lately? Like we're talking
And
about the
Listeria.
90-plus cases in the Rockwood
Yes,
School
Summit,
District.
yeah, Summit High School.
See, you shouldn't eat
Wow.
salad or onions.
So Carl's got this figured out. He's never going to have that problem.
Pretty
he
much
just avoids all that.
Carl, you must be so healthy with all the vegetables that you don't eat.
What do I eat every day, Kim?
An
Oranges.
orange. He eats an orange.
Good job, Carl.
You're never going to have scurvy.
I'm not going to get scurvy.
I ate a banana today, so see, I'm being healthy. Go ahead.
Australia proposed a law to ban social media for children under 16, and it's generated both anticipation and concern as it aims to protect youth mental health by restricting access to platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese supports the measure as a safeguard, with tech companies being held responsible for compliance rather than parents.
This is what happens when you don't have a Bill of Rights and a United States Constitution. The people, they're insane down there.
We'll see what happens with it. All the people that wanted to leave over Trump's election, well, they can head to Denmark. The greater Copenhagen region is offering newcomers life quality insurance. It's a campaign guaranteed an improved quality of life for those moving to the area. If new residents find that life there does not meet their expectations, the region will assist in moving you back home. So you get to go and try out Denmark.
4 years.
In Denmark, you have to stay 4 years, and if it hasn't worked out by then, they'll pay for you to go back.
It's almost worth it. Why not go there and live 4 years and be like, I hated it?
Is
Then
there
they send you back.
Any way to make sure that word gets through to De Niro and a few of those other people?
People like Eva Longoria. Remember, I've heard that she had left, and then she comes out and says, no, I haven't left. But so many people have claimed they're leaving.
She's been living
They're
overseas
not.
anyway.
One more quick one. A recent survey reveals that managing Gen Z employees poses challenges for many managers, with nearly 1 in 5 considering quitting due to frustration with the generation's work habits and attitudes.
Wow.
People don't want to manage Gen Z, apparently.
It's called entitlement. It is a
problem.
problem.
It is definitely a problem. Coming up, we will talk to Todd Piro about all the craziness going on up in D.C. in the wake of the big Trump victory. How about that? We've also got a pair of Guns and Hoses tickets to give away. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money, Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Supporting your nutrition should be easy. That's why we created the Neovitin Women's Multivitamin monthly subscription. Get your daily Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered directly to your door every month. You can pause or cancel your subscription at any time with no long-term obligations. With B vitamins to support energy, vitamin D for bone support, and our physician-formulated proprietary blend, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is here to support your nutrition every day. Start supporting your nutrition and sign up for a monthly Neovitin Women's Multivitamin subscription today at neovitin.com.
Greg Hammonds at greghammonds.com wants to remind you that if you pay for your own health insurance, open enrollment ends January 15th. If you are looking for coverage, do not go online looking for quotes. You'll get endless calls from call centers, and they will not stop. Instead, call Greg, an expert with over 40 years' experience, and he can provide sound advice for your health insurance needs. Their plans, if you qualify, let you pick your doctors, and it's 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. The monthly premiums are independent of your income, so there will be no surprise tax bills. If you pay for your own health insurance, own a small business, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. They will custom design a plan managed by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Democrats push back on mass deportations. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
I will not tolerate actions that harm Arizonans, that harm our communities.
Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs and other leaders on the left oppose President-elect Trump's plan that includes declaring a national emergency and using military assets to remove some immigrants here illegally. Trump's appointed border czar, Tom Homan, reacted to the Democrats, telling Fox this morning,
"Are you telling me that you don't want public safety threats out of your communities? That is your number one responsibility, to protect your community. So smarten up and work with us."
President-elect Trump has picked someone else from Fox for his cabinet, nominating Sean Duffy to be his transportation secretary. Duffy is also a former congressman from Wisconsin. This is the 1,000th day of Russia's war in Ukraine.
Putin is focused on winning this war. He will not stop on his own.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky addressing European Parliament this morning, asking for more support. Days after President Biden authorized Ukraine's use of American long-range missiles to fire deeper into Russia, and the Russians claim that Ukraine has launched 6 of those today, prompting Russian leader Vladimir Putin to up the nuclear ante.
Now, Russia's nuclear doctrine states it could consider using nuclear weapons in the face of a conventional assault supported by a nuclear power. The updated doctrine also says aggression against Russia by a state that's part of a coalition would be considered aggression by the entire coalition. That could be seen as a reference to NATO.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. There is fallout in Hong Kong from China's crackdown on a democracy movement. 45 activists and ex-lawmakers sent to prison under a law that China forced upon Hong Kong. A homeless man with a criminal record and mental health issues is in custody, suspected in 3 deadly stabbings, appearing to pick people randomly. The first was a construction worker, the second a man fishing in the East River, the third a woman attacked on a sidewalk. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
So this new dose is... nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Another nice day in store for us. It's 61 degrees now at 7:03. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. More cases of E. coli have been linked to the Rockwood School District. Health officials say there's now at least 94 cases. That's up from 69. The St. Louis County Health Department believes a salad may have caused the outbreak that was served at 4 separate school-related events. Changes are coming to the way St. Peter's residents recycle. Next month, the city will be delivering 96-gallon bins. For the past 25 years, St. Peter's has been using blue plastic bags for recycling. A $320,000 grant is helping pay for these new bins. The city says this way of recycling will save hundreds of thousands of dollars and also cut down on landfill waste. The St. Louis Zoo has euthanized a 17-year-old African lion. The zoo says Ngozi was put down because he had advanced liver and spinal disease. Ngozi was born at the San Diego Zoo back in 2007, and then he came to St. Louis just before his first birthday. Last week, you might remember the zoo euthanized one of its chimps because of arthritis and other health issues. It's 7:04 and 61 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. Last night for Monday Night Football, the Texans gave the Cowboys their 5th consecutive loss. Final score was 34-10. And for any basketball fans, the Illinois men take on Alabama tomorrow. Tip-off for that game is 8 o'clock. 61 degrees now, coming up on 7:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Southbound 79 is really heavy and slow, headed for Highway Y this morning. And 61 out west is really pretty slow, headed for the 64 split. Now, it's 6440, some moderate volume, Prospect, Lake St. Louis Boulevard. But southbound 94 jams at Highway D. And 64 starting to slow, just some moderate volume now and then at Clarkson. Then things open up. Now, 70, we had some moderate volume headed for the Blanchette Bridge. But other than that, we're in good shape. And if you are headed in from Illinois, there is some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. That kind of comes and goes. And northbound 55, slow ramping onto northbound 270 and slowing at Bayless. By the way, northbound 270, also that moderate volume between 44 and Manchester. This report brought to you by Mosby Building Arts. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 7:05 at 97.1 FM Talk.
After a whirlwind year, bring peace back to your home. Enjoy 10% off Mosby remodeling projects or no payments until 2026. Call 314-909-1800 by December 31st. Mosby Building Arts, bringing joy home.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest. 42, then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
7:06 and 61 degrees. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
I want to compliment your show on how fair and level-headed everything you guys talk about.
Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
Maybe what we need from a conservative standpoint is
the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I respect that we don't agree. Listen to both sides.
This,
let's get it on,
is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome into the Marc Cox Morning Show. Happy that you are with us. And we are here on your Tuesday morning ready to get you to work or school or wherever it is you're going. Much better conditions this morning than yesterday with all that rain. Decent weather today, and it's going to get a little worse as the week carries on. No doubt about that. Happy you're with us. Hey, if you missed our interview earlier, you can hit the rewind button on the Odyssey app or go to the podcast. We had Mr. Will Scharf on, who's going to be the White House staff secretary. Which is pretty cool, like assistant to the president, but the real title is staff secretary.
And he said that Brett Kavanaugh held that position, which is interesting. I didn't realize that.
I did not either, but it is clearly somebody who's right in the middle of scheduling and planning people that are coming to the White House. It's a very important West Wing appointment, and of course we know Will here, friend of the show, and ran for attorney general, lost in the primary, but he's been one of President Trump's attorneys. You can listen to that interview. It's probably up on the podcast already, but if not, you can hit rewind on the Odyssey app and you can listen to it. We're live on Facebook and X and YouTube and all that stuff this morning. So you can also Rumble. Don't forget Rumble. You can watch the show on
Rumble,
there if
where
it's
someone
more convenient.
Under the age of 60 appreciated your Bewitched reference.
Thank you. Everybody knows who Gladys Kravitz is, Carl. Don't act like I'm old.
Kim.
I don't know.
Okay, well, she's not old.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So you just called the 47-year-old old.
No. Jackie, thank you for your support. I do appreciate that. That was very nice of her, Carl.
Uh-huh.
Don't you think?
I do.
So why would you make a negative comment like that?
Well, you're the one that called her old.
We're having a little bit of fun here this morning. We were talking about, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about it on Kim on a Whim again coming up for the end of the hour. You think?
Talking about
The
why
Georgia mom?
why we were referring to
Yes,
Gladys.
yes.
Yeah, we should. Because that actually we should next. I don't know if we want to play now. Maybe we should hold off and maybe for Kim on a Whim, maybe we play some of the audio messages because you can do that. Go to the app, leave us a message up to 60 seconds, but we have to always mention, Mark, it's important that you wait. Is it 3 seconds that it counts down before you can go? It's like the thing. Wait for the beep. Beep. Just
Yeah.
pretend.
Yes.
You have to wait, or it'll cut you off.
Exactly, and we will we'll play that for you coming up here before the end of the hour. Stay tuned for that. Todd Piro is straight ahead. We got 2A Tuesday this morning at 7:37. We're giving away Guns and Hoses tickets. Lots to get to, but first, let's get to our top stories.
The Marc Cox Short List.
I'm proud to announce the United States is pledging $4 billion over the next 3 years to the World Bank International Development Association.
Well, importantly, it's only a pledge, and it's something Donald Trump can turn around and cancel maybe when he gets in office after taking a look at it. Here we've just created a Department of Governmental Efficiency, and we're giving away $4 billion to other countries. We're $33 trillion in debt. Do you understand why?
With Donald Trump's plans,
Black people
they thought that he was reflective.
One of the poorest demographics in this country, but they voted for Kamala Harris.
But there was a split, and more of them voted for Donald Trump than had historically.
Yeah, The View, they're still debating who voted for who. All that matters is that Donald Trump won in a landslide with historic support from minorities.
Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities.
Yeah, Governor Katie Hobbs down there in Arizona says, hey, we are not taking part in any of this mess of deporting criminal aliens who might be a threat to our citizens. Wait a minute. That's not exactly how she said it. She said she won't participate, right? Tom Homan says you better get the hell out of the way. So, I'm walking into Home Depot yesterday to pick up some, holiday lights and all this stuff, and I walk in the front door. This is the one off Highway K out there near Mexico Road in St. Peter's, or O'Fallon, I should say. And that's what greets me, a 6-foot-tall stormtrooper. And the first thing I did was record that video and send it to Carl Middleman. I said, Carl, you need this stormtrooper on your front porch. Did you buy it?
So my wife first said, how much is it? And so I asked Mark, and Mark sent me the price.
I did. It's available only online. They've got plenty of them if you want one. It can cover 2 different seasons.
Wait, let me guess.
It'll do Halloween because it'll do a Halloween greeting, and it can hold a bucket with candy in it, and it can also do a Christmas greeting, which you heard there a minute ago.
Is it like $349.9? That's my guess.
It's $299
That's
plus
not
shipping.
bad.
Plus shipping. So yes, about that.
Yeah,
$350. And then the next thing, once I told my wife that, she thought about it for a second. Where are we going to keep that the other 10 months of the year?
In
the
your
bedroom. Thank you. Right by the front door in the bedroom.
Wow. It would be an alarm.
It would be an alarm. It's motion activated. I thought it was hilarious. Now, I joked very often that I would never pay $300 for one of those 20-foot tall skeletons for Halloween, but this is unique looking. And Carl, my guess is you're wrong on the shipping. They'll probably ship it directly to the store, and you just drive down to the store and pick it up. So that eliminates the shipping thing. You see what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, Home Depot has really upped its game when it comes to the holiday yard decor. They had very realistic reindeer, like animatronic reindeer, and massive Santas and the minions that move around because my son loved all of that.
So tell me how you feel about this. We've recently moved to a new house, right? And I brought along the Christmas decorations that I used at the old house. And one of them is one of those preformed plastic Santas with a light inside of it that you plug in and put on the porch. And my wife has told me I am not allowed to put that on the porch at the new house.
Even
Why?
though it's supposed to be for the porch.
It is designed for the porch.
What was her reasoning?
She thinks it looks cheap.
Does it?
Well, it's a plastic Santa Claus, but it's sort of a vintage Santa Claus,
Oh,
right?
vintage. Is that another word for cheap?
Old.
It's another word for old.
That's what you say when you're like, it's an antique.
It's old, but it's kind of a classic, right? It's
Well,
the
Marc-
season. Why wouldn't we put a Santa Claus out there?
Because you got a new house, she wants new stuff.
It's classy, Santa.
Yeah, I went there, and so
Why don't
so
you
here's
put,
the other
wait,
thing.
Mark, put like a bow tie on him. Would that class him up? Maybe a top,
Here's the other thing. I went out to buy Christmas decorations. And before I did that, I called one of those holiday lights people that because I saw the sign in the front of my neighborhood, and it looks like a couple neighbors have taken them up on it. And because I just wanted to know, because I got to, it's a ranch house, but a couple of the peaks on like at the garage and all are high enough that I can't reach them with my ladder. I just wanted to know. Do you know how much they wanted just to put lights across the front of my house?
Yes, because my husband called and we about fell over when they told us the price.
$900.
Oh yeah, we were over. Our estimate was over 1,000.
And I
we have a
called.
two-story.
I called another place, and they had the bargain basement price of $735.
What a steal!
You
and
could buy a new ladder for that.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm just
Mark,
not going to do it.
Is it worth you breaking your leg? Because I mean, if you have good insurance, it might cost less for you to break your leg if you try to go up in a ladder yourself.
I'm just going to skip the high part. We're going to get one of those little reflector things that puts snowflakes on your garage.
They have Star Wars ones of those.
Do they really?
You know,
and we're going to do that for the garage, and then I'm going to hang lights, which I bought yesterday, along the gutter on the other side of the house because I can reach that with my ladder.
You know how much money I would pay to have one of those things in the Grinch? You know what's the woman's name?
Cindy Lou Who?
No, the older woman. She's not old at all, but she's older than Cindy Lou Who. And she and the Grinch have a little thing, a little romantic connection.
Yes, honey,
and
it
she
does.
has the and it just shoots out all the lights onto the house perfectly.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That would be perfect. That would save a lot of headache. But yeah, I could not bring myself to drop almost $1,000 having somebody else hang Christmas lights for me. I
Mark,
can't do it.
On YouTube, people are giving you options of cheaper. And someone also said they'll take that Santa from you.
Oh, will they? I may not be able to use it anymore. I might have to donate it to someone. All right, I'll check with the kids first. Coming up, we'll get to Todd Piro, host of Fox and Friends first.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
We look fine on the roads this morning for the most part. Now, southbound 79 is stacked up as you head for Highway Y this morning. But for the most part, it's okay. Now, eastbound 70, some moderate volume, headed for the Blanchette Bridge, and then things open up. Same thing, just moderate volume along 64, Prospect, and again, as you head for 94 and at Clarkson. Northbound 270, slow pockets approaching 21 on up through Manchester. Southbound, a little bit of volume at Ladue Road. Northbound 55 is looking good, and it's just a little slow right around the Bayless area, maybe on either side of Bayless. And then things open up into downtown. Now, there's some moderate volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge, but that's the worst of it. Not bad this morning. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas. 718 at 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, so forget the plastic Santa for a minute. You need to put Rhino Shield outside of your house. How about that? How's that for a transition? Rhino Shield's fantastic. Had it on my previous home for 17 years. It was durable, just like they promised me. It was beautiful, just like they promised me. Maintained the color for all those years. It's resistant to mold, unlike some of that plastic siding you get on the side of your house, and it doesn't fade like the regular old paint you get on the side of your house. It's like a ceramic coating. and it resists water to 100%, and it resists the sun rays to 90%, and it protects whatever you put on. It's 8 to 10 times thicker than regular paint. There's plenty of time to get it put on a home, a business, a condo, a church. If you're on that decision-making board, talk to them about Rhino Shield, and it eliminates outside maintenance for years and years. Call Darren today. Get your free evaluation at 877-25-RHINO, or call them or go online to 877-25rhino.com.
Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. Anytime, anywhere. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and a preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050. That's 314-569-1050, and have a Banner day.
Running a small business takes endurance, determination, and the right support to reach your goals. And MasterCard is here to help fuel that journey in a fast-paced digital world. With innovative tools and resources, we're here to guide businesses every step of the way digitally. Because when small business wins, everyone wins. Let's power up our communities one small business and one step at a time. Keeping the community running strong, priceless.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. A strong mind and a legislative body. The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Gin to a sunfish versus tequila, which would make the sunfish more aggressive? Nearly $1 million spent studying whether or not Japanese quail, if you give them cocaine, whether or not they're more sexually promiscuous.
And now, a man who would never waste any of your money. It is the host of Fox and Friends First, Todd Piro.
I disagree with Rand Paul there. I believe that was Rand Paul. I have known some Japanese quail who are just absolute hoes, and they need to be reined in. Carly Shimkish just walked by my office when I said Japanese quails who are hoes. And she probably
we can hear her
completely didn't
laughing.
Understand the content. You hear her laughing in the
Hey,
background?
Carly, how are you?
Carly, this is the Marc Cox radio show in St. Louis. You really yelled that. She really got enthusiastic there. Oh, all of St. Louis heard you. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Carly. Thank you.
He's got to go to your office. Hey, by the way, before we go, I heard you I thought you were talking about yourself just about 3 minutes ago, but apparently it was a commercial. But you can understand my confusion. You referred to what I assume was yourself as durable, you retain color, and you're resistant to mold. Little did I know that you were referring to siding.
It's how I've lasted so long.
Yeah, you are
resistant to mold. I am.
Yeah, there you
But
go.
doesn't retain his color in the winter.
Oh, really? He doesn't. That's why he's got to go on vacation. Got it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all I got. Those are my jokes.
Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
So we're post-election now. You're back in the studio. You're not having to travel to diners all over the place. How's life?
I went to my chiropractor on Friday because I usually like to kind of push it out. I find that being in pain focuses you when you are on the road. You just have to because if you try to minimize it, you're just going to think about it. So I said I'm just going to go full bore, be in pain, do the traveling, and then when I get back, when everything's died down a little bit. Nothing's going to be died down under Trump for the next 4 years. So I went to the chiropractor. He's like, "You're really in bad shape." Like,
wow.
You're a mess because I'm old, and I haven't worked out since fall of 1995. Right, everybody knows this. Everybody, sadly, all of St. Louis knows the last time I worked out.
You get the email from the gym, Todd, we miss you. It's been 30 years since we've seen you here.
This was so long ago, like they didn't even have gyms. This was the gym that was in my high school. And Kim, you're not going to understand this because you are younger than Marc Cox and me. You went to when in your high school gym, it was like all fancy because they decided they needed to put money into things, I'm sure. When Marc Cox and I were in high school, we still had the gym that our grandparents had in the 40s.
Yes.
Like it had neck machines, push all your weight on the neck and see what happens.
It was like a dungeon. It was in a dungeon too.
It was in a dungeon.
Yeah.
And it was like
couldn't wear tennis shoes
walls.
What? What do you mean
couldn't
you
wear
couldn't
tennis
wear
shoes.
tennis shoes? Why?
Yeah.
You'd ruin the floor.
Oh, they had thick rubber mats down.
Did you
in our gym.
ride your horse to? They hadn't invented cars yet, Mark.
Yes.
Park your horse there.
That was rough on the back too, wasn't it, Todd?
Yeah,
yes.
There's a reason nobody in our generation really worked out is because it was injurious to you. My father-in-law was a bodybuilder. My father-in-law has had 2 major back surgeries in this June and in June of 2022. The man can't walk. We didn't know these things.
I tell you, man, we just refer to our chiropractor as a magician. We go in there and come out feeling 100% better, although there are times when I'm convinced he's going to twist my head off my neck.
Oh,
but it
totally
always
right.
feels better afterwards.
You're so scared. And, I'm like, this could be it. Dr. Allen, who's a huge Trump supporter, he's in there cursing I don't want to curse on air, but he's like, I'm so effing happy. I hate all these effing liberals. Blah, 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 blah. But he could take my life in a heartbeat. The other part of this is, have you been doing this thing that I've been doing? I'm in pain now, but RFK Jr. is going to make sure that's not the case anymore. I do it to my children when they're eating crappy food. I'm like, enjoy it now because soon RFK Jr. is going to be standing over your shoulder. You're not going to be able to eat that crap
Have you
anymore.
seen people posting a picture of RFK Jr. with that little smirk on his face on their refrigerator? And so every time they go in to eat the bad food, they see him staring him down like, don't you eat that. You put that down and you grab that carrot instead.
I think about it. It's in my psyche now. And if that can help me lose 5 to 7 pounds, go RFK
That
Jr.
guy is buff, man, but I saw a picture of him on the plane with Trump the other day eating McDonald's.
You really think he was eating it? I'll just
know.
do this for the picture. I'm going to throw this crap out.
He's like Chuck Schumer with that raw hamburger. He's just
his
posing
cheat
for a picture.
day is probably, I don't even know, yogurt.
Right. Meantime, he throws it out of the plane, and I'm underneath the plane trying to catch it in my mouth.
Yeah.
Is that a Big Mac?
Todd, we appreciate you, my friend. I'm glad. I hope you get some pain relief for sure.
And I'm glad we got into content during this hit. Really, really insightful for the listeners of the Marc Cox Morning Show.
We've covered it all, but at least they got to hear from Carly Shimkus. That's what's
now
important.
that's a win.
Yes.
Have a great week, St. Louis.
All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Todd Piro, the host of Fox and Friends First. I love Carly. I got a picture with her when I was up there. She was still pregnant then. I was there 2 years ago.
That's what's crazy. Our
pregnant
kids
with her
are
bebe.
1 day apart.
I know.
That's crazy.
She's very cool. Very cool. And so is Todd. I better add that in there in case he's still listening. All right, coming up, we're going to get to our friends from the Reign St. Louis West, a little 2A Tuesday action, and talk to you about the ATF raffle that they're helping me out with and the really cool gun that we're auctioning off. And we got Guns and Hoses. At the top of the hour, we're going to give away a pair of tickets. Stay tuned.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how, learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team and get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007.
Diamonds Direct's biggest and most spectacular sale of the year is starting now. For the first time, it's bigger than ever. Take 20% off virtually everything. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, everything to make this holiday sparkle. This weekend, we're decking the halls with an expanded selection and top designers' appearances in the store. 20% off now through Sunday. Skip the Black Friday madness this year with Diamonds Direct, open all weekend. For the best selection, quality, and price, shop direct. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, this is Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. What if it were possible to protect you from market downturns without having to make an emotional decision to buy or sell? What if you could take advantage of a strategy that would automatically take you out of harm's way during the bad years and position you for the growth opportunity during the good years?
The secret is in linking safely to the market without putting your principal at risk. By linking to the market instead of owning the market, you can participate safely on autopilot and lock in your gains without creating a taxable event. Go online at retirementkey.com for a no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategy that has helped our clients retire with confidence for the past 38 years. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest, 42. Then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Well, good morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 61 degrees now at 7:30. Well, you could soon face a fine in Missouri if you're caught holding your phone to call or text while driving. In January, the new hands-free phone law takes effect. Governor Mike Parson signed the bill last year. Up until this point, police have only been able to issue warnings. A first-time violation will cost you $150, and then penalties increase to up to $500 if you're caught multiple times. A St. Charles County 911 dispatcher is being recognized for helping a woman deliver her baby safely at home. Ashley Purcell was just a few weeks into her training program as a dispatcher when she took that call in September. She ended up walking that mom and her boyfriend through the whole birth, and they had a healthy baby girl. Purcell was given an award and a stork pin, which I guess is given to dispatchers who help deliver a baby. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. Last night for Monday Night Football, the Texans gave the Cowboys their 5th consecutive loss. Final score was 34-10. And for any basketball fans, the Illinois men take on Alabama tomorrow. Tip-off is 8. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Eastbound 70, we've got an accident west of Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Looks like the left lane is blocked. This one came down as multiple vehicles, but no injuries. And we've got heavy traffic behind it already. That's back through Highway K. Also some slow-moving traffic 70 at 94 this morning. And then things open up into downtown. We also had an accident reported northbound 67 at Papin Road. That one was a vehicle off the roadway. Some volume this morning eastbound on 364, especially headed for Highway K. 64 is slowing out at Prospect. This is just moderate volume. A little bit west of Winghaven and Boone's Crossing through Timberlake Manor. The westbound volume is more like Hampton out through McCausland now. Southbound 270, moderate volume headed for Ladue Road. Northbound 270 is pretty slow, ramping on from 55, then moderate volume in pockets up through the Clayton Road overpass. And 55 northbound slowing around Bayless, on either side of Bayless, in the construction zone as you head into the city. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 732 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, let's face it, when you have to replace a furnace and air conditioner, it can be an expensive process. There's no doubt about that. Why would you not save as much money as possible? And right now you have that opportunity with my friends at Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. It's really this simple. If you go talk to them, they can explain their double carrier cool cash rebates. That means on qualifying equipment, you could get up to $4,400 back in your pocket or off the bottom line of that expense. they're doing this because they see what's coming. In 2025, there's some changes being forced on them, on the industry by the government. It's going to mean equipment is going to be more expensive. Right now, you could save from $100 up to $4,400 with the Carrier Cool Cash rebates that have been doubled. You're going to love working with my friends at Air Comfort Service. Here's the other thing. They can get you 0% financing for up to 72 months, utility rebates, tax credits. It all adds up. Trust me, I'm going to get the tax credits, and I've already gotten the utility rebates on my new unit. So talk to Air Comfort Service right now. Tell them you heard Marc Cox talking about it. For details and free estimates, just go to aircomfortservice.com.
We love Guns N' Hoses, and that's why we're going to be the first station to ever broadcast Guns N' Hoses the day before Thanksgiving. Marc Cox here. It's November 27th at the Enterprise Center. Tickets and info are at 971talk.com.
You love your city, but let's be honest, the commute, not so much. That's where the free Odyssey app can help. Download the app and follow your local news station so you can get the latest traffic reports or find if your train is on time before you walk out your door. Knowing all this gives you time to think about the essential things like, do I have time to get coffee? Download the free Odyssey app and search your local news station. That's AUDACY.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Prescription products require completion of an online consultation with an independent healthcare provider and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Additional restrictions apply. See website for more details and safety information.
Did you know millions of people are getting prescription medications for weight loss, sexual health, better sleep, and more, all online? RexMD.com has made getting these medications fast and easy, with free delivery of the most popular medications right to your door. Just fill out a brief survey, and if appropriate, we'll prescribe and ship clinically proven options to help with issues like weight loss.
I've lost 45 pounds so far. It's nice to get back into clothes that I haven't been able to wear for a long time.
We can also help with insomnia.
I slept through the whole night. It made me feel very well rested and ready to go for the day.
And RexMD can improve your sexual health.
I felt like a young man again. My wife is happier. I am definitely much happier.
At RexMD.com, we've made the process fast, easy, and affordable. Visit RexMD.com right now to get started. That's REXMD.com.
Your political sixth sense. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
If you ban them in the future, the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
So you don't shoot deer with a bullet that size. If you do, you could cook it at the same time.
Put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This is 2A Tuesday, brought to you by the Range St. Louis West.
All right, well, the election results have certainly probably decrease the stress for a lot of gun owners who don't have to worry about Kamala Harris administration trying to buy back weapons that you didn't buy from them in the first place. So that's one bit of relief that we all have going into this. And now it's a matter of making sure we're protecting those Second Amendment rights moving forward, for sure. One thing we're doing to try to help out, of course, is we're trying to raffle off with Responder Rescue a very nice weapon. And I've got my friend James Fleming from the Range St. Louis West on the phone this morning. James, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for giving us a minute this morning. I appreciate that. Tell folks a little bit about this rifle. It's one of the 3 prizes in my First Responder Thanksgiving ATF raffle with Responder Rescue. This CMMG, some people may not be familiar with it.
Yeah, so we're doing the CMMG Descent rifle. It's a Mark IV. It's a full 9mm rifle. It's fantastic. CMMG has done a great job with these things. You can run these things as hard as you can. They're dead on. They're fun to shoot. It's got a beautiful color to it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it made in Missouri, correct?
Correct, out of Boonville, Missouri.
Yeah, I know they've and the price tag on it up there's a bit. The value's around $2,100. So I love the folding stock on it as well. It makes transportation a lot easier.
Absolutely. I've been out there to see those guys at CMMG. They're fantastic. They make good products. I love their guns. We all love guns here at the range. So come by and see us, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell people quickly. If you text the word responder to 33100 on your phone, you can buy tickets for the raffle. If you happen to be at the range out there in Baldwin, 14803 Manchester Road, I think they've got an iPad set up right there where you walk in, where you can buy tickets right in the store, and maybe they'll give you a look at the rifle. Last time I saw it was back in Charles' office, I think, but there's probably one hanging on the wall up there, right?
Yeah, we get it on full display out front on the showroom.
Sure.
We have the iPad up front, so you can come in and do the donations. You know, I want to thank Responder Rescue for giving us another opportunity to host that and play a role in that cause.
Yeah, well, we appreciate what the range does for us all the time, for sure. And I know for people who maybe haven't been out there, you guys are doing your Black November specials all this month for people who are members. And then on Black Friday, all of those specials become available to the general public, right?
Absolutely. So the members get it early. Non-members, they got that Friday, Saturday deal. But we're doing AR bundle packages. We're doing 20% off weapon lights. You know, we got SIG 365 tac packs ready to go. 10% off certain particular SIGs, 10% off suppressors, and we're doing a shotgun special and then a knife special, as well as a few other tchotchkes and stuff.
Yeah, I love the fact that they've sort of streamlined the suppressor issue. I mean, I'm a big proponent of removing some of the restrictions on those to begin with that we've been dealing with since the 1930s. But in the meantime, it used to take months to get approved for a suppressor. And now that they're doing it online, what's that turnaround like these days?
So the turnaround time, there's a couple ways to do it and a couple systems to use. If you use our system internally, that the software program that we use, the fastest turnaround time I've had was 18 hours. Most people, as long as they're filing as an individual, it's probably 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and what's the filing cost now for that?
So we don't charge a service fee for us, but you come in, you submit the paperwork, and you got to pay Uncle Sam that nice $200.
Yeah, $200 for the right to own a suppressor. Some people call them silencers, a suppressor. What probably the biggest mistake people make when they hear that is they've watched a movie somewhere and they really think it sounds like a it's a little bit louder than that, right?
Correct. They all still have a crack to it, so to speak. Nothing like the movies. You know, we love Hollywood sometimes, but sometimes they get carried away with it.
Well, as much as anything, right? It can save your hearing. I mean, for people that are going to go out and shoot a lot, having that suppressor can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, it has huge health benefits. You know, diminishing that decibels and that crack and that loud snap that you kind of feel your eardrums pop a little bit. It takes that away, and it's super safe to shoot.
Yeah, well, I hope people can go out there and check out the member exclusive deals all this month. Maybe a membership's a good idea for Christmas. I'm just saying, if you got somebody who loves to shoot, because they also get discounts on classes, don't they, James?
Absolutely. Come hang with us, take some of the best training classes, and be a part of our range family. It's all about bringing people together and helping one another. Our training, memberships, it's fantastic. You get 15% off training classes if you're a member. It's worth it.
Well, I hope people show up out there. I know the new Ladies Sentinel group seems to have taken off as well.
Absolutely. Liz has done something just awesome in our community and our industry, and being supportive and making that group was beneficial to everybody that plays a role in it. It's fantastic. Again, Mark, it's about helping one another in life, and we want to do honest business and bring people together.
That's a great point. James Fleming, listen, I appreciate your time, my friend. I'll see you the next time I'm at the range.
Absolutely, Mark. See you next time.
All right, thank you. James Fleming there from the Range St. Louis West, and here's more information on the ATF raffle. We're a little bit further behind in donations than I would like at this point. We got about 8 days left. So if you've got it in your heart to help out Responder Rescue All of the money goes to them. The donations are made online to an organization that collects it and then puts it straight into the bank account for the charity. So you can go to text responder to 33100 on your phone. You can go to the range. You can go to 971talk.com. You can go to responderrescue.org. There's lots of different ways that you can buy your tickets for this. Minimum purchase is $10, but if you spend $100, you get 112 tickets. So you're getting bonus tickets the more you spend, and all the money, again, is going directly to charity. Here are the prizes again. That rifle he talked about at the range, $2,100 value. Evening at Lit Cigar Lounge, $1,000 value for you and 10 of your friends in their private lounge down there, and a bottle of bourbon to go with it, and cigars. And then the alcohol portion of the ATF raffle is that basket of bourbon that Carl and Tom and the friends at Lore Wine and Spirits and Stolak, they've all been chipping in. They've all donated bourbon for this. I'm throwing in a bottle of Weller Antique 107. There's going to be Old Dominic Cask Strength, the Stolak, the Four Roses. I saw the Four Roses single barrel. My friends at Lore gave me their donation yesterday. It's a lot of bourbon. I'm sure it's $1,200 to $1,500 worth of bourbon. You have a chance to win that and a signed Robert Thomas jersey from the Blues. So it's 3 great prizes. We'll pick a winner live on Facebook on the 27th out at the range at about 12:30. Please help us out if you can. Text responder to 33100, and let's keep upping that total for our friends at Responder Rescue. All right, quick break. What are we talking about this Georgia mom again, Kim?
Yeah, this is a Georgia mom, lives in a small town, and she's now facing a criminal charge for letting her 11-year-old son walk less than a mile to a local store.
Wow. We'll get to that coming up.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. Well, crews have been dealing with an accident this morning on eastbound 70 west of Mid Rivers, and they have been blocking the left lane, and that continues to be what's happening. So if you are eastbound on 70 and thinking, what the heck, that's what's happening. It's a parking lot back to Highway K, but we have some slow pockets beyond that, back near Lake St. Louis Boulevard. And 79 southbound is really jammed this morning. There was an accident reported south of Vormund Road. It's headed for Highway Y. That's easier for me to say. So a hideous jam behind that one as well. Southbound 61 slowing at 64, which has eastbound some moderate volume at Lake St. Louis Boulevard and at Wing Haven. Then approaching Clarkson through Timberlake Manor, again at Ballas, and then 170 through Big Bend. Westbound is pretty slow, approaching Hampton out through Hanley. We've got southbound 270, moderate volume approaching Page down through, looks like Ladue Road, and northbound 270, slow pockets 21 on up through 64. Now, 70 westbound out of downtown is slowing again because of road work right around West Florissant. They've got a lane down there. And there's some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. I can see on the Cordell and Cordell domestic litigation firm traffic cameras. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 747 at 97.1 97.1 FM Talk.
Just about every single home in our neighborhood, including our home, we're getting new siding because a lot of us were hit by hail several months ago. I think it was sometime in August. And I'll tell you what, it has made me realize what a difference new siding can make. A lot of the homes in our neighborhood have chosen to go with this really deep blue or like charcoal gray. It looks awesome. Totally transforms the look of the home. Maybe you've realized that your siding, it's old, it started to buckle in some cases. That can certainly happen. If that's the case, the only call you need to make is to Lakeside Renovation and Design, because what they can do is they can put on James Hardy siding, and it's made from fiber cement. It's going to help protect it from hailstorms and the changing weather, because going from hot to cold, that can also impact your siding. Lakeside Renovation and Design, local company, family-owned business, been doing this here in the St. Louis area for close to 30 years. They're the company you want to call, the company you can trust for just about any project, whether it's on the inside or the outside of your home. Whether it's the stunning new kitchen you've been dreaming about since you moved in 10 years ago, bathroom deck, they do it all. They even could install Infinity from Marvin Windows, 8 times stronger than vinyl. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Ask about their special deal going on now through the end of the month. It's 636-978-5000, or they're online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The president did ask me if I would be the Treasury Secretary of the United States. And I said, well, Mr. President, I don't think I can do that because I do the Annie Fry Show. And I'm not willing to give that up. So just so you know.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
Have you ever been told you can't get into the water for 30 minutes after eating because you can cramp up and drown? And then you were told if you eat watermelon seeds, you're going to grow a watermelon in your stomach. Swallowing gum it'll stay in your stomach for 7 years. Don't sit too close to the TV or you'll go blind. Wow, these aren't your peers saying this is your, people you're counting on that you believe and you trust. Or the air conditioning that we have now isn't good enough for you, so you need to do this. I don't know, guys. If you have questions, you have doubts, and you want common sense approach to, heating and cooling your home affordably, call me, Bart Inman, one real easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
In Missouri, farming isn't just a profession, it's a purpose. You can feel it in our 27 million acres of farmland. You can see it in the nearly 41,000 Missourians who work in agriculture. You can hear it at our farmers markets. You can count it in the $93.7 billion it brings our state. And you can taste it at your family's dinner table. A lot of farmers in our state rely on Bayer's tools and inventions because Bayer has a purpose too, to help farmers thrive. Learn more at go.bayer.com/purpose. Paid for by Bayer.
Deeper than the headlines. The Marc Cox Morning Show. Kim on a whim.
Well, a mom who lives in Mineral Bluff, Georgia, a town of about 370 people, is now facing a criminal charge for letting her 11-year-old son walk less than a mile to, I guess, the town square where there was a store. Says she knew where her son was. This is not a big deal. Son's mature. And they show up to her house, the cops do, 5 hours after they drove the kid home because I guess her neighbor spotted the kid walking, had concerns, said, "Are you okay?" Kid said yes. Called the cops anyway. So 5 hours after the cops drive her son home, they show up to her front door. They arrest her for reckless endangerment. And the community's been rallying behind her. They've already raised $54,000 on a GoFundMe page. Because here's what the craziest part of is for me, okay? So the Division of Family and Children's Services is now involved. They went to her home and interviewed her family. It sounds like interviewed her oldest son at his school. And then what they did was they said, you need to sign this so-called safety plan, and that we'll drop the city or county, whatever, they're going to drop the charges if she agreed to sign this. It would require her to delegate a safety person to be a knowing participant and guardian and watch over her children whenever she leaves home. And here's where it goes way too far, in my opinion. It would also require this mom, Brittany Patterson, to download an app on her son's cell phone that would allow her to monitor his location, and she has refused to do it.
Wow.
An attorney has agreed to take on her case pro bono, not charging her, and is going to fight this for her.
Just put Life 360 on there. That's the easiest way to do it.
Life Alert? Is that
no,
what
Life
that is?
360.
What is that?
It's just an app that allows you to
Find
track
my
your
phone.
kids.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just give them all ankle bracelets like we do with inmates who get released from jail,
Put
and
them
that
on
way everyone
leashes.
can just well, leashes would be a fantastic option.
I don't know, but like when they first start driving and doing stuff like that, sometimes it's a good idea to know where they are. It's not a bad idea.
I get that. I just feel like a lot of times we want to shelter our kids. I think this is a case-by-case thing. Like, would I ever do this? I don't know. Obviously Easton's not even 2 yet, but if he were 10 or 11, I guess it would depend on his maturity level, where he was going, the time of day. But I think at some point you have to release a little bit of that independence to them. I especially with it being a smaller town. Things can happen. I don't know. I mean, this is a tough situation. I do not think she should be facing a criminal charge. That's ridiculous.
I wonder if there's anything else we don't know about her. What was the message we got earlier there, Carl, on the listener line?
Concerning Mineral Bluff, Georgia, it sounds to me like Barney got loose from Andy again. This is Greg.
I didn't know this. This is an Andy Griffith show.
Yeah, Barney
reference?
Fife was the ne'er-do-well deputy who was always fumbling and bumbling, and they wouldn't even let him
Overreaching.
They wouldn't even let him load his gun because he had to keep the bullet in his pocket because they're afraid he'd shoot somebody. So what their suggestion would be that maybe a Barney Fife type got a little carried away and arrested her. For all we know, there have been some other allegations against her, maybe of not watching her kids properly. I mean, I have to wonder because it seems like a way big overreaction to immediately send her to Department of Family Services. When I was that age, I was riding a bike all over the place. I'd be gone for hours in the summer. My parents would have no idea where I was.
Well, I've seen people commenting online saying, well, times have changed. And they certainly have, but I still think that, I don't know, at like 11 or 12, I was babysitting and taking care of other children. So I feel like as long as your kid was mature and you had that level of trust,
right,
I think I would be okay with it. But when the mom was arrested, she was talking to the deputy and said, look, last time I checked, it wasn't illegal for a kid to walk to the store. And the deputy said, it is when they're 10 years old.
Well, it's all about responsibility, right? You know how responsible your child is. If you're that worried about him, just give him your gun and let him carry it on the way to the store. Then they'd be safe.
It's a great idea, Mark.
I'm being facetious. You know that. But who knows? This is a small town, population 300 in northern Georgia. Population 300. And maybe they've got 10 sex offenders among those 300, and that's what the people are worried about. I don't know, but you got to at some point give the mother the if she trusts her son to walk less than a mile to a store and back. I don't know. I'd love to know more details on why they had to escalate that so quickly.
And I haven't seen if there's any sort of a history, because I think you're right. If there's a history of this, maybe it's a little bit more understandable. I've not seen that. It seems like this was kind of a one-time deal where the neighbor flipped out that the kid was walking alone, was concerned enough to call 911, and then things just kind of escalated.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if you let your kid walk down the street a mile in downtown St. Louis. I would never do that.
No, you know your community. At least you need to, I would hope. Coming up, we got a couple of more Guns and Hoses tickets to give away. We'll do that next hour. And did you know, depending on where you are in the state of Illinois, your county may be trying to secede and join Missouri? We'll talk to David Stokes from the Show Me Institute at 8:20.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new break you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165. 800-499-5165.
Hey, it's Marc Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brasati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-580-7766. 800-580-7766. That's 800-580-7766.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
War rages in Ukraine for the 1,000th day. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. And Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is asking European leaders in their parliament today for even more military help.
We have succeeded not only in preventing Putin from taking Ukraine, but also in defending the freedom of all European nations.
Now, as Russian leader Vladimir Putin's war continues, another missile strike in Ukraine has killed 12 more people, while Fox's Jonathan Savage reports.
The Ukrainian military claims it hit a Russian weapons stash 70 miles beyond its border. The Ukrainian media and the Russian Defense Ministry both say U.S.-supplied ATACMS missiles were deployed. Over the weekend, President Biden decided to allow Ukraine to use them on targets deep inside Russia. A new Kremlin policy allows Russia to use nuclear weapons if an enemy backed by a nuclear power uses conventional weapons against it.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage again. Democrats are speaking out against President-elect Trump's mass deportation plan of immigrants here illegally. Some governors plan to resist, but Trump-appointed border czar Tom Homan tells Fox they have to smarten up and work with him to make communities safer.
We're going to focus on public safety threats and national security threats first. And fugitives, those who cross the border illegally, had great due process at great taxpayer expense, were ordered removed by an immigration judge and didn't leave. They're also a priority.
We expect an update today on the Trump legal case in New York City, where the president-elect was convicted of falsifying business records to keep an alleged affair quiet before the 2016 election. Now, prosecutors have to file their plan by today on how to proceed with sentencing. And if the Supreme Court's immunity ruling for former presidents affects the convictions, he calls it political persecution. Also in New York City, a homeless man in custody suspected in 3 stabbing deaths.
We have 3 innocent New Yorkers.
Mayor Eric Adams says all 3 were stabbed to death, and they appear to be chosen at random. America's listening to Fox News.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy 2. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
So this new dose is, well, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green?
Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Good morning. A beautiful start. Sunny skies here in downtown St. Louis. 61 degrees now at 8:03. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. More cases of E. coli have been linked to the Rockwood School District. Health officials say there's now at least 94 cases. That's up from 69. The St. Louis County Health Department believes a salad may have caused the outbreak that was served at 4 separate school-related events. Changes are coming to the way St. Peter's residents recycle. Next month, the city will be delivering 96-gallon recycling bins. For the past 25 years, St. Peter's has been using blue plastic bags. A $320,000 grant is helping pay for these new bins. The city says this way of recycling will save hundreds of thousands of dollars and also cut down on landfill waste. The St. Louis Zoo has euthanized a 17-year-old African lion. The zoo says Ngozi was put down because he had advanced liver and spinal disease. Ngozi was born at the San Diego Zoo in 2007, and he came to St. Louis just before his first birthday. You might remember last week the zoo euthanized one of its chimps because of arthritis and other health issues. It is 8:04 and 61 degrees at 97.1 FM Talk. In sports, the Blues are at home taking on the Minnesota Wild tonight at 7. Last night for Monday Night Football, the Texans gave the Cowboys their 5th consecutive loss. The final score of that game was 34-10. And for any basketball fans, the Illinois men take on Alabama tomorrow. Tip-off is 8 o'clock. 61 degrees now, coming up on 8:05. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, crews have been dealing with an accident on eastbound 70 near Mid-Rivers Mall Drive, and it was multiple vehicles. They've got the left lane and the left shoulder still blocked, and we just have a parking lot jam behind this thing, and it's almost at Bryan Road. So eastbound 70 drivers, kind of a mess this morning. 364 has some moderate volume around K, and 64 has some moderate volume out west, but those are better than 70 at this moment. And let's see, eastbound 64 slowing again at Clarkson, and this is just moderate volume east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound is slow, though, Hampton out through McCausland. And we've got northbound 270 with slow pockets, mainly from 21 on up through Ladue Road. 70 westbound jams out of downtown due to road work and a lane down at West Florissant, and some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. This report brought to you by New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring. New Perspective Senior Living of Weldon Spring offers a state-of-the-art AI detection system. Delicious meals, modern apartments. New Perspective of Weldon Spring is redefining senior living. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour day. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 806 and 97.1 FM Talk.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest, 42. Then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
61 degrees now at 8:06. All the news you need for your day is on the free Odyssey app. Download it now to listen to 97.1 FM Talk.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Listen to both sides. The bottom line is, I respect that. We don't agree.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Just to find a voice. Who is this guy? He's saying what we've been saying forever.
I don't know how to put this.
Marc Cox.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, it adds excitement, doesn't it, folks?
Hey, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show on a Tuesday morning, trying to get you out the door and on your way to school or work this morning with the latest information on what's going on. Sue Thomas has got the latest on traffic for you coming up here, and it's been a fairly good commute so far. I mean, no major complaints here compared to yesterday, let's put it that way, which was a complete mess with all that rain. We're in decent shape this morning. Coming up, we're going to talk to David Stokes. He is the Director of Municipal Policy over at Show Me. He and I talked about this at their 20th anniversary celebration last week, and that's the fact that there are some rural areas pushing for divorce from blue states, and you can't blame them, right? I hear you, all my friends over there in Southern Illinois. We'll talk to David Stokes about that coming up at 8:20. Ryan Wiggins at the bottom of the hour is going to join us here on set, so we appreciate having him in here in the studio with us. We're going to move him to Tuesdays from this point forward. He's been joining us on Friday morning, so we'll get Wiggy in here coming up in about a half hour or so. First, though, I want to get to this morning's top stories. Carl, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist.
I would be looking at all my leaders and going, did you just BS me for an entire 6 weeks before the election?
Scott Jennings knows how to press the buttons over at CNN. He was poking him a little bit because he's like, hey, I've never seen this many people suddenly want to sit down, Mika and Joe, and have meetings with Hitler.
Would you, as governor, allow state police and National Guard to carry out mass deportations?
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities.
No, we won't. Katie Hobbs, the governor of Arizona, sounds like a valley girl. She's also not got very much on the ball because she claims she would rather protect illegal criminals than her own citizens.
So she helps us, she gets the hell out of the way, because they're going to do it. And look, there's a clear line here, and they can't cross a clear line. I would suggest she read Title 8, United States Code 1324 III.
Woo, Tom Homan was back on Fox this morning. He goes, listen, first thing we're going to do is focus on public safety threats and national security threats, and there are thousands of them. Every governor should be in on that. All right, welcome to the jungle, baby. We're giving away some Guns and Hoses tickets right now, and then we played Guns and Roses in honor of them. How about that? Of course, it's coming up on November 27th over here at Enterprise Center. 5 winners total for the week, so we're gonna give away 2 pairs of tickets each day this week. Let's put it that way. You have a chance to win a pair right now. 314-241-9797, and we will take Kim. You picked the number this morning. What number are we taking?
How about 8?
Caller number 8. Good luck to you. There at 314-241-9797. I want to get back to these allegations that they're now making against Matt Gaetz. I haven't had a chance really to talk about that this morning, but I told you yesterday what was going to happen here, right? And what was going to happen here is the fact that they were going to treat Donald Trump's cabinet appointees worse than they treated Brett Kavanaugh. Do you remember those hearings where the people were crying in the hallways and they were chasing senators into elevators and begging them not to approve, all based on nothing other than character assassination by Christine Blasey Ford? Her word against his, claiming something happened 35 or 40 years ago that she never brought up before, and suddenly it was a world-class emergency because he was about to get on the United States Supreme Court. And, of course, their effort failed because nobody bought it. Nobody bought it. Not even Christine Ford really bought it. Here, I want to jog your memory here. Listen to this.
I don't have all the answers, and I don't remember as much as I would like to. But the details about that night that bring me here today are the ones I will never forget.
Yeah, it was a joke. The Democrats went out and they had to dig up something, and this person who went to high school with him came forward and said, I'll do it. Whatever we can try to do to prevent him from being on the Supreme Court. And boy, what a horrible Supreme Court justice he's been, huh? once again, showing you that there's no limit to the hyperbole the left will go to, the lies they will tell to try to prevent a conservative or a Republican from getting what they want. In that case, it was Donald Trump, who they were angry at for promoting Brett Kavanaugh. Well, guess what? Now the attorney for one of the supposedly underage girls that Matt Gaetz is accused of having a relationship with, something he denies, by the way, and it was investigated by the feds, and the feds found no evidence to charge him with anything. They're now going to take this ethics investigation completely extra jurisdictional, right? I mean, they're outside of their jurisdiction now that he's no longer in Congress. And they're going to leak bits and pieces of this to try to make him appear guilty of something that no law enforcement agency could charge him with. They looked into it and opted not to charge him, but they're going to try to fake the allegations from this ethics committee to make it appear that he did something wrong. Here's what they're not going to tell you. Now, Matt Gaetz was a single man at the time this happened.
2017.
A girl, he was in the Florida legislature. A girl allegedly claims she had sexual relations with him and claims she saw him having sex with another girl. But the key here is that while the allegation is that one of them was 17 at the time, even the accuser admits that he didn't know that. And, I mean, at some point, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. I'm not saying that. But they went out and they dragged out the attorney for one of the girls. And this was the interview he gave this morning. Just as more evidence that they're going to make this uglier than the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. Here's what's coming.
Did your client believe that Gaetz at the time knew that her friend was underage?
Yeah, so the House was curious about that. She testified that her belief was that Representative Gaetz had no knowledge that she was under 18, that she was 17 years old at the time he was having sex with her. They did testify, both of them, that they consented to the activities. They were also asked whether or not they were victims, and then she broke down in tears, and she said it's a very complicated question.
Did your clients make any assessments in their testimony about Mr. Gaetz's fitness or judgment to serve in office?
They're very careful about what they might express publicly, but one did say, I do not think a man like him should have that much power.
I want to let that hang out there for a minute. It was consensual. They both admitted. It was complicated as to whether or not they should have done what they did or not. But somehow, whatever this was that law enforcement could never find enough evidence to charge him with any wrongdoing, the House Ethics Committee is going to convince you that he raped a 17-year-old girl. That's what it'll be a worse repeat of the Christine Blasey Ford case, because they'll say, well, it was only 2017. It wasn't 35 years ago. It's completely a he said, she said situation, just like the Brett Kavanaugh case. I don't know how you get around that. And that is a shame that they're going to try to drag this guy's name through the mud over this just to prevent Donald Trump from getting his pick to lead the DOJ. They're desperate not to have an outsider like Matt Gaetz at the head of the DOJ. That's the bottom line. Just a little preview for you of what's coming in that particular hearing, if and when it happens. We'll see. Coming up, we'll talk to David Stokes, the Director of Municipal Policy at Show Me. He is talking about some rural areas that think they're blue now. They don't feel blue. They identify as red, and they would like to go through a change. We'll talk to him about that when we come back.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, we had an accident on eastbound 70, really near Mid-Rivers, and it has been blocking that left lane. It was multiple vehicles. It came down as 5 vehicles, but no injuries. And that left lane had been blocked for a while, and we had a jam that went back to Bryan Road. Well, now we've got an accident reported eastbound 70 at Bryan Road, and it sounds like they got off the roadway, but you may see some emergency crews headed that way. So we've still got slow-moving traffic on eastbound 70. If you have a choice, 6440 or 364 look much better at this hour. Southbound 61 slowing at 64, but just some moderate volume out there. And then it's slowing just east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound slows at Hampton. And northbound 270, slow pockets between Gravois and 64. Westbound 70 is jammed out of downtown. One time at West Florissant, where we've got ongoing road work, and another slowdown as you head toward, looks like just Salisbury. And some moderate volume westbound now on the Poplar Street Bridge. From the Winter World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 818 at 97.1 FM Talk.
Years ago I told my wife my ideal retirement would be to retire to a few acres outside of Lexington, Kentucky, and get season tickets to the Kentucky Wildcats basketball team. And she looked at me like I had two heads. So everyone has a different version of what they want to do in retirement. Thank you, Carl Middleman. And that hopefully you and your spouse agree on it, but you've got to have a plan in place when that happens. That's what they do at the Retirement Advisory Group. Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, and Thomas Helbig. It's a family-run business. They're there to help your family, and all they're going to do is show you the exact same strategies they've been using for 38 years to help people take their nest egg and protect it. You don't know what's going to happen in the market. What happened yesterday, Vladimir Putin said something, and this morning the market dropped like 300 points. If you're in retirement, that can affect your income. All they do is give you strategies to prevent that. They'll sit down with you for free. All you have to do is call them. Tell them Marc Cox sent you, 314-993-9494, or online at retirementkey.com.
The minds and voices that shape America are talking here.
This is Brian Kilmeade. This is Griff Jenkins from Fox News. This is Jimmy Fallon.
Stream it on the Odyssey app.
97.1 FM Talk.
97.1 on the Odyssey app on your phone.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Onder Law, voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis. We know how to handle the insurance companies, and we'll make sure you're compensated for physical, emotional, and financial injuries. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law today for a free review. 314 or 618-9-MILLION. That's 314 or 618-9 all zeros.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is doubling their usual veterans discount on all products and services in November. That means veterans and active military get 10% off all month at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Details on their website. Schedule your annual garage door tune-up before winter really sets in. Just call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res. And if you need the carpets cleaned leading up to the holidays, if your home is not ready for the holidays, I have a great offer for the month of November. You know, some people hire a deal of the day carpet cleaner, maybe save a little money. It doesn't usually go that way because trust should not come that easy. I've made mistakes before. Don't DIY it. I've rented those machines at the big box store. Then I've still had to call Zero Res. They come over and then they kind of scold me for making more of a mess. Don't make that mistake. They have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,800 reviews and the legendary Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee. Here's the offer for November. You got to mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. Don't miss this deal. Get back to clean. Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call Zero Res right now and book 314-474-2020 or online at ZeroResSTL.com. Mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. Zero Res. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
Solutions with conviction. This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Good evening, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I want to know, how does it feel that Trump is in office right now? You see the Mayor Brandon Johnson? You underestimate us. You underestimate the black people, and you underestimate Chicago Red. We're the thorn in your side, and we're going to be the thorn on everybody else in this council member side, too. If you don't stop what you're doing, we're going to take matters in our own hand, and we're going to stop it. You know that Trump had pulled 45% of the voter in the state of Illinois, 37 in the city of Chicago? That's the statistic. That means that Illinois is turning purple. we're going to turn red.
Wow. That was in a Chicago City Council meeting yesterday. That's their message to Brandon Johnson, the socialist mayor up there. How about that? David Stokes is on the line this morning, Director of Community Policy at the Show Me Institute. David, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Mark. Great to be on the air with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Great to see you at the 20th anniversary celebration of Show Me last week as well.
And, Mark, we can't thank you enough for your participation in that event and hosting it as the MC. You did such a great job, and it was great to have you a part of that big night, and thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. Anytime you get to rub shoulders with Art Laffer, it's a good evening. I really enjoyed that. That was fantastic. So I know you've got
a magician.
Yeah, and a magician on top of that. That's great. I know you've got an article out, and I joked about this earlier, that apparently there are some blue state areas that identify as red. Is that correct?
Well, right. And what you have in Illinois right now is a movement that's really gaining steam. And I don't want to overstate and try to say that it's likely to happen, but it's very interesting, and it is moving forward. It's called the Illinois Separation Referendum. And they've now had 33 counties, including 7 on Election Day 2 weeks ago, pass this referendum that they want to separate themselves and create a new state of Illinois separate from Cook County, essentially, which is Chicago. So separate from Chicago. And 33 counties have passed this now. That's right about 1/3 of the counties in Illinois. And when it passes overwhelmingly, like 75% is the average passage rate. Now, of course, it's a little easier to vote yes when it's just an advisory thing. I get it. But it's really an interesting movement. And, you have some things about it's the same thing going on in Oregon and Washington with some of the rural areas of the eastern parts of those states trying to separate and join Idaho. Illinois, I think, is more focused on creating their own new Illinois. But I would love, and this is where my article at showmeinstitute.org talked about, I'd love, somewhat whimsically, I admit, I'd love to see Missouri get aggressive and try to convince some of these parts of Illinois to not just leave Illinois, but to join Missouri in the long run. Obviously, this is incredibly complicated stuff, but it's worth fighting about. It's worth thinking about.
I mean, what's the likelihood that this would actually happen? Not even just in Illinois, but some of these other states where they've toyed with this idea. Because I know you've talked about all these counties, for example, in Illinois that have signed on saying, yeah, we're in agreement, we want this. But what would still have to happen in order for this to, actually come to fruition?
Well, I think the likelihood is low, and probably even very low. But the point of the Illinois separation referendum is to get so many counties to pass this that Illinois can no longer ignore it, and then really has to start taking it seriously. And the thinking, I think, is they sort of have the West Virginia model. Now obviously, West Virginia tried to separate from Virginia before the Civil War. That movement had begun. But obviously the Civil War made it much easier for them to do that. So this has happened before. Maine did separate from Massachusetts in 1820. Obviously, West Virginia is the most famous example. So it's not like it's impossible. But, yes, it would strike me as very, very difficult and certainly unlikely. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't be paying attention to it. And it doesn't mean it's not worth the discussion. And I do commend the people in Illinois for these efforts.
Yeah, it'd be about as difficult as getting a plate away from J.B. Pritzker. I get he's not going to give up all that revenue from the southern half of Illinois.
Right, but what's interesting is I think we've gotten so used to the nice round number of 50 states, we forget about that. For a long time, we changed boundaries of states and added new states all the time in America.
Yeah.
And maybe if there's one thing that can sort of kickstart this, maybe as another thing that happened 2 weeks ago was that Puerto Rico had another referendum on statehood, where statehood was the winning option of the 3. So maybe it's time for Puerto Rico to get serious. For the United States to get serious about entering Puerto Rico as a state. There's our 51st state, and then maybe they'll sort of open the floodgates for the greater Idaho movement in Oregon and Washington, and this new Illinois movement in Illinois, and some of the other ones around the state, some of which around the country, I should say.
Yeah.
Some of these are too small and not necessary. But look, 33 counties should not be ignored, and I have no doubt that in the coming years, dozens more are going to pass this same thing in Illinois. And it's a movement that the people who started it deserve credit for, and I'd like to see Missouri sort of be a part of it.
Well, David Stokes, we appreciate that. People can go to showmeinstitute.org to find out more. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, everyone. Always great talking with you.
We'll talk to you soon. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
All right, let's talk about Gloria Lou for just a minute and you selling your house. You want to sell it? You serious about it? You maybe just toying with the idea, kind of said to your significant other, hey, I wonder what the house is worth these days. Call Gloria Lou. Let her or a member of her team come over. They'll give you a free market estimate of what your home is worth, give you tips on what you're going to need to do to maximize the amount of money you can get for your home. And you can start working on it right now. 314-325-6888. No realtor in town does what Gloria does that I'm aware of. It has as many options that she has that I'm aware of. She's got a sell and stay program that's available to you where you can stay in the home up to 12 months. She's got people willing to bid against each other in cash, or she'll put in writing an offer for your house that you both agree on, and she'll buy it if it doesn't sell. Who else is offering that? I don't know. Gloria Lou has a business called Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Call her today at 314-325-6888 or gloriahasthebuyers.com.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our latest round of rain is long gone, and we're still in a southwest flow, so it's another nice day on this Tuesday. Sunny, breezy, 65 for the high. Partly cloudy skies tonight, turning colder as the winds turn to the northwest. 42, then a stretch of chilly weather. Wednesday, sunny and chilly, a struggle to reach 50. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny, high temperatures only 45. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Walmart has raised its forecast as its customers bought more discretionary merchandise, ordered more deliveries to their homes, and started their holiday shopping. The discounter now expects net sales will grow between 4.8% and 5.1% for the full year. Revenue also exceeded expectations. Lowe's topped third quarter earnings and revenue estimates. The home improvement retailer raised its outlook, but still expects full year sales to decline from the prior year. Lowe's rival Home Depot has said customers are deferring big projects even after the Federal Reserve cut interest rates. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said central bankers are keeping a close eye on housing inflation, which has yet to normalize. It may take until mid-2026 for rent inflation and the Consumer Price Index to subside towards its pre-pandemic norm. That's according to the Cleveland Fed. Futures are moderately lower as Ukraine and Russia tensions increase. That's Your Money Now.
What does the future of mobility in Michigan sound like? That's the sound of new EV charging stations at our state parks. That's the sound of over $20 billion in new investments to produce EVs and batteries in Michigan. And that's the silence of Michigan's new En-Road wireless charging system. Discover all the ways MEDC is driving next-gen mobility in Michigan at michiganbusiness.org.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
A clear view of the roads from the Window World Traffic Center.
Well, there was a stall on westbound 70 near Salisbury. The crews have actually managed to move to the shoulder. But if you are westbound on 70 out of downtown, there is some slow-moving traffic there and at West Florissant, where we have some road work blocking a lane. Now, eastbound 70 is still slowing as you head toward, it looks like Highway K. They have cleared the accident at Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. 6440 this morning, some moderate volume at Prospect. A little bit slower right at Wing Haven. And then we've got some volume, too, at Ballast this morning. Then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound, that's a slow go. Approaching Hampton out through McCausland. Southbound 170 slows at 64. And northbound 270, still some slow pockets there between Gravois and 64. If you are headed in from Illinois, there is some volume westbound on the Poplar Street Bridge. From the Window World Traffic Center, I'm Sue Thomas, 833 and 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, let's talk about our friends at Hampton Manor, Wentzville for just a minute, because they have got a fantastic senior living community they put together out there. If it's something that has come up in your life, you've got an elderly loved one who needs a little bit of extra help, then you need to talk to Hampton Manor, Wentzville. If you go out there, the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70, they're going to give you a tour, let you see it. You want to do the walkthrough and see for yourself what they're doing. You'll notice a difference in the attitude of the employees, and that's because that's what the owner insists upon. He wants it to seem like a resort. He says if this is going to be their forever home, I want them to feel like they're being treated to the very best, just as they treated us over the years. Go get your tour now. You'll see the movie theater, the spa, everything on site. It's just a beautiful place to go, and they'll feed you lunch while you're there. Tell them Marc Cox sent you. It's WentzvilleAssistedLiving.com.
We know you've got an interesting take on things. You can tell us by clicking the microphone button next to Listen Live when you're on the Odyssey app. Record a short message for us to hear when you tune into 97.1 on the Odyssey app.
The election is finally over. Now you can get the cash you need. Imagine what you could do with $50,000. Pay off credit cards, do home improvements, or even pay off auto loans. Golden Oak's mortgage rate is 5.25%. There's no out-of-pocket costs, so call today and make no payments until next year. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
6.19 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
We've been hearing so long about government mandates all these years. It's coming true unless something changes this year yet. Then maybe it could be stopped. If not, homeowners, if you need an air conditioner, if your air conditioner is old now, get the equipment that you can still get before they say you can't have it. Not to scare you, they scared you. I'm just saying, the equipment we have right now, unbelievably better than what you have because your equipment's 15 or 20 or 30 or 40 years old. So if you're looking and if your system's that old or if people are saying it's old and you do, I'm not going to waste your time. But if you call me, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers. All right. So it's not the easiest. I have forgotten the number, even as many times as I put it up. But 314-293-2600 or go to the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
He's bringing the heat. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show.
I
searched for a way to respond appropriately, and I called on my 10 years as a litigator in addition to my now 20 as a journalist, and I think I found the perfect phrase: go yourselves. Go yourselves, you dishonest jokes.
Wiggins! Wiggins! Megyn Kelly not mincing words about Joe and Mika going and groveling at the feet of Donald Trump this
Good for
weekend.
her.
She's like, don't act like you're doing this because you're being magnanimous. You've been blasting him for 7 years. You just want to remain relevant.
It's so ridiculous to watch this play out. Although, in a sense, you're sort of glad that they're having to.
Yes.
Because they don't know what to do now. They're going, what? We got 4 years of this. This should be a time when people are actually seeking out alternative media. Yeah. Because, when Obama wins or whatever, 97.1 goes up because people are like, I need like-minded people. I want to listen to the resistance. They could be the resistance. But they can't even figure out how to do that because they were the resistance for the last 4 years and it didn't work.
Do you think Joe and Mika, it was actually their idea to go meet with Trump, or do you think one of the producers behind the scenes was basically like, look, this guy is going to be our president for the next 4 years. You guys have to go meet with him?
It's a good question. I've heard it suggested that they didn't really have much of a choice in the matter, that the owners of MSNBC said, look, we can't do what you've been doing for another 4 years. You're going to have to do something different.
Right.
I've heard it's also ratings-based.
Oh, I'm
they,
sure.
They were like, look, we can't.
I mean, look, we're all talking about him, right?
Yeah, it works.
They're making headlines on every other outlet, network.
Scott Jennings said, I've never seen so many people want to meet with Hitler. So I think that maybe you were BSing us for the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, it's true. And it's also like, if you are a dictator, if Trump is a dictator, and you decide, you know what, let's just make amends with the dictator. What does that say about you?
Yeah.
Like if you are in North Korea and you've been like fighting against Kim Jong